What's all in here? Oh shit, it's a whole fucking guy. Oh, okay. NTM rifle casings. Ooh, nice. Nice. I have a good couple of these. Nice. Oh, I could use one of those. Oh, fuck yeah. An ammo rack? I definitely need something like that. Oh, this is even better. I have to check these out. Oh, shit. 5-can ammo crate mini. Little minis. Cool. Alright, right on. How can anyone read those charts? I too have recently re-upped. Nice. It's actually not really so much on the re-upping for, but it's more of actually to my ammo. I splurted a bunch of it earlier yesterday, and now I actually got, when I went over there just to go grab a couple, just grab like a couple things, and then just check out like a potential new gun I want to get eventually. There's more ammo. I was like, oh, I am buying your bulks. Thank you. But now I have a fat tub that I can actually put all my spent ammo in now too. But I must certainly get myself stoned up here real quick. I need to put away my shit. Got all just scattered everywhere right now. It's a little too much. Here. It's like, oh my god. It's like sweet baby rice. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Oh, okay, this is heavier than shit. God, man. Those fucking like 3-inch shotgun shells are heavier than balls. Come on, close up. There we go. Never forget to pick up the spent brass. Oh, yeah, that's what I tried to do. And now I have an entire fucking tub. So whenever I collect it, I'll now just be able to have this. There we go. This big old bad boy. I already have a bunch of my other ones in here. But these bad boy, oh, this is a, no, that's not it. That's also not it. Where is it? Is it this one? I only have a couple. Yeah, here it is. But these Winchester 3-inchers right here, these things, these turkey loads, these packed a fucking hell of a kick. Okay, fine, fuck you too. And quite the punch on it. Honestly, more so than slugs. Like, I've shot slugs plenty of times now, and nowhere near as much of a kick than those like lead turkey shots. Which I have them all in this little ammo crate with my target loads now. Aside from one box, I put one box in here. Actually, I do have my unspent ones right here. I haven't used yet. They're just my regular target loads. And then some duck and bird game shot loads here too, which I guess it doesn't really matter too much. I'm not necessarily planning on hunting anytime soon. Move these over here. Oh my god, this is heavy. Actually, ugh. Get this out. Ugh. Oh my god. Man, Once you were like start getting it all gathered into one spot, ammo is heavy. Jeez. I think for the first time I tried out these 3-inchers the other day. Yesterday when I was going out shooting, and like these bad boys, like I love them, but I want to make sure I get a heavy load gas piston for my Weatherby for that, because those definitely with the punch they pack. I don't want my like stock popping off or some shit. I had that happen last time, and was figuring that out on stream yesterday, kind of like in the moment, and actually figured out how to get it off and learned the tricks of how getting it tightened back up. So stock is actually good. I was going to get it replaced with a wooden stock anyway, and ordered that at some point, probably next week. So I mean, even if somehow the actual like synthetic polyester stock was broken, it just would have been only temporary out of commission for like a week. Well, maybe more like a couple weeks, because I have to wait for my stock to get in anyway. What the hell? Is there a leak on that bowl? Is there a crack on that bowl? Oh, fuck yeah, there is. Son of a bitch. Well, good damn it. Alright, where's the crack on that so I can just drain it? Motherfuck. Oop. Fuck, kidding me? Ugh. I need to get a metal bowl. There we go. Goddamn Zooks. Anyway. Boop. Pop up a little something for the background here. Then get my shit all smoked up. No, that's not a tune. There we go. And there we go. Cool. Whoop. Having a Bluetooth speaker on will actually be quite useful. There we go. That's better. Hey, Zooks. What's up, buddy? Were you just being a little attention whore all day today? Because everybody wanted to check you out and give you loves and scritches. Everybody loved you. It's too much. It's like a dam. This is one dude actually on the bus on my way back that really like lightened up like majorly when he saw Zukov. Of course, Zukov noticed that and started going up to him and checking him out, and Zukov was just giving him a bunch of loves and stuff, and he was giving him a bunch of scritches. So that was always nice. It's a good thing that he's literally just the embodiment of just pure sweetness, and I want to like have snuggles and scritches. Like that's just a pure embodiment of his energy, so makes it that much easier and more comforting knowing that he's just not gonna do shit. He's just gonna sit there and stare at you and look like a goofball. Tea. Good shit. Felt like I haven't had that in a while. Felt like I've been, for the most part, just having like brewskis for like the last 3 or 4 days. I'm definitely gonna be taking a break from drink for a little bit. Just with the constant brewskis for the last few days. I'm thinking I think I've drank like at least every night so far this week. So, yeah, definitely gonna chill for that. This is actually pretty, like, super chilling. Like, whoa. So, Cuff, why are you being so sweet? Look at you. You're looking adorable again. A constant state of adorableness of you. Unacceptable. Here, let's see what's going on, tube. That's why I'm hanging full. React and see what's going on in this fucking world of bullshit of the day. Oh my goodness. But let's see here. Pop this little app up, see what type of articles are going on. Texas court suspends investigations of parents of transgender minors. LGBTQ rights supporters gather around the Texas state capitol to protest the Republican-led efforts to pass legislation that would restrict. Yeah, I know that. A Texas judge on Friday blocked investigations into the parents of transgender minors, halting for the time being a controversial directive by the Southern U.S. state's governor. The judge has blocked Governor Greg Abbott's Texas DFPS's unlawful actions targeting essential medical care for transgender youth, referring to the State Department. Yeah, okay. So, alright, that's actually some cool fucking shit right there. Got a Texas court judge who's actually not a shitbag. And it's just like, yeah, this whole, like, you know, like, literally, like, cracking down on transgender people, like, there's somehow, like, some sort of, like, menace on society. Like, yeah, you know, like, how about we don't do that, fam? How about we block that? That's legit, honestly. I mean, it's definitely better than nothing, for sure. And it's, at least legitimately does halt a lot of these investigations. I don't know if it does entirely. But, I mean, it definitely certainly, puts a very fat road bump into trying to crack down on shit like that. Which is just stupid. It's like, oh god, my boy might actually be, you know, girl. No. We can't allow that. My girl actually wants to be a boy. We can't allow that. No. Fabric of society will be destroyed. It's like, fuck me, bro. I mean, I'm hoping that at least there'll probably be like some supremacy clause bullshit where that kind of get that type of ruling gets enforced onto the Supreme Court level, where it's like, yeah, this ain't constitutional and supremacy clause, bitch. Because honestly, that's all it'd really take for these fucking states, you know, to be to have them stop this bullshit. It's supremacy clause them. Like, it's there for a fucking reason, right? I mean, it's just like, if we have the whole supremacy clause to overrule laws within, or constitutional amendments within states that are unjust and, well, unconstitutional or unlawful, according to federal laws, then it's just like, yeah. let's supremacy clause that bitch. You'd be like, nope. Yeah, you can have all the books all you want, but it ain't gonna work. It's just gonna be like, nope. Ain't happening. I mean, that really needs to just be the case with it. I mean, because there's a whole, like, I mean, anti-discrimination laws and shit, when it comes to minorities and, you know, oppressed groups, like, you know, and that includes the LGBT as well. So, just, I think that virtue alone, you know, makes it like, hey, yeah, I'm thinking that, you know, you can't necessarily just crack down on transgender youth just because, oh, they happen to be trans, and that's, I guess, gonna destroy the fabric of society and fucking indoctrinate kids and allow, like, enablation and pedophilia or something, I guess. I don't fucking know. Hey, whoa! Jesus! Zukov! Zukov! Hey! Oh my god, that gave me a heart attack. Zukov! Zukov! Zukov, get over here. Get over here. Come on, it's just the damn neighbors, you little psycho mutt. Look at you. Oh my god, bro. Really? Jeez. The fuck? What was that all about, yo? Like, come on. Yeah, get back up in your little seat. You little flop. My god. Jeez. Well, that kind of woke me up. Fuck. God damn. Man, Zooks. Why? Why? Oh, there we go. Sad to say, little messageronies. What was that? What was that little gruff about? There we go. Alright. There's another little bowl loaded up here. On that fun stuff. Check out some other fun stuff on it too. I'm definitely thinking of her next gun. Like, I actually was learning a little bit more about, like, when thinking about getting an AK, and it's just like, ugh. I just kind of realized that there's, like, not going to be that much 7.62x39 ammo, like, hardly at all. Especially not just because there was a Russian ban on ammo prior to the war in Ukraine, but because of that now, even other manufacturers are primarily producing to go over there. And it's just like, fuck. Which really puts a major damper on wanting an AK. Because, God. Hey! Zukov! Oh! Shut up! Bro! Shut up, bro! Hey! Hey! No! Stop! God, dude. Anyway, one thing I'm hoping for especially is that that like other manufacturers that also produce a lot of ammo, like in Poland and elsewhere and shit, actually start, you know, being able to get contracts and start having supplies shipped over here, because that'll at least help alleviate some of the shortage on 7.62x39 ammo, on top of, you know, possible, you know, like AKs and stuff, I guess. Because especially for me, I'm most certainly a stickler for that, for, you know, that type of firearm. So it's like, oh my goodness, please, I want one. Don't put a damper on it, damn it. But when it comes to getting a pistol, at least especially a revolver, like, that shit is actually legit really cheap. So, at least in the meantime, I think I might at least just get a pistol like I was thinking on doing afterwards. You know, but at least just get something like that in the meantime. And go from there. Because if I get something that's in like 45 or 38 or a 9mm, then I can get a carbine rifle of some sort, like a pistol carbine. And then I can just already have a bunch of ammo for that as it is, and just, you know, especially if there's interchangeable magazines. So if I have a pistol, then I have a kind of a rifle carbine the same caliber that can take the same magazines, then that makes it even better. Because I know the Caltech sub 2000s, they, depending on the caliber, can either take Glock or 6-hour magazines. So if it's like in 45 or 38, it takes 6-hour mags, and if it's in the 9mm, then it takes Glock mags. Which is like, alright. I actually like that, so I'm kind of considering on getting a sub 2000 possibly. Or, I mean, honestly, you know, one of those high points as well is definitely on my, you know, list of things to probably get. One of the 4595 TSs, maybe. Something along those lines. Hillary Clinton weighs on war crimes. Oh my fucking god. That bitch needs to crawl in the hole and just like rot away forever. Go back to your crypt tomb, Hillary. Like, you're gonna like slither your fucking sneakily ass little head out, you know, to be like, hey, Russia. Russia, and Russia war crimes. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's like, bitch, like, you're one to talk. What about your war crimes? We came, we saw, he died. It's like, she's just like such a, like, I really do feel like she is, at least in some extent, still in major control of the Democratic Party and the DNC. I mean, considering that, like, the Clinton Foundation is, like, fundamentally backed and, like, in operative, you know, within the DNC and shit. Like, pretty much, like, half of it's pretty much, like, the Clinton Foundation and, their ilk. Put that before I drop that. Little Zukov finally getting in a fat little nap. Hopefully. Hopefully. Really, I don't need him boofing at the most randomest noises. That most certainly gets really annoying. Trained soldiers knock out a Russian tank with an Awww. Oh, some drone footage of it. That's actually kind of cool. Some drone footage of it. Assuming the Russians are still getting bogged and shit and haven't even really made much progress at all. I also haven't even heard really any major significant news coming out of the war so far, so it's like, seems like a very major lull period with the with, like, you know, Russian advancements, because they're doing more to try to, like, resupply and fucking, like, you know, reorganize and shit, but they can't even really do that. Which, that's just all too bad, so sad for them. I always have these, like, messages at the most inconvenient times. Jesus Christ. It's like, these meal people. It's like, hit me up in some other way. What the fuck? That shit went sideways there for a second. Nope. There we go. else is happening, yeah. Actually, it's like a little update out of the Ukrainian war front here. Russian ground force attempted to encircle and take Kiev. Began another pause. Well, that explains it. To resupply and refit after failed attacks on the 8th through the 10th. The Russian force also appeared to be largely stalemated around Kharkiv, as it has been pretty much since the beginning of the damn war. Russian advances from Crimea toward Mykolaiv and Zaporizhzhia and in the east around Donetsk and Luhansk made no progress in the last 24 hours. The Russian forces in the south face growing morale and supply issues. The Ukrainian General Staff asserted that Russia so far has failed to take its territorial objectives for the war and will likely increasingly turn to strikes on civilian targets, psychological. Again, some major. So it's just basically been a lot of fucking stalemating. Just a lot of fucking stagnation and like pretty much little progress being made at all. I guess it explains why there hasn't really been much updates going on, which is good. And let's see what else is happening on down here. It's too much. It's like a Friday and you're really too much out. Oh wait, here's some. Binefly rejects call for World War III. Wow. When that becomes the bar. Hey Jack, let's not do World War III here. Well, I guess escalate a little bit, but let's not do World War III, Jack. I mean, thanks. Thanks for at least, willing to not escalate into World War III. If they actually mean it. If Biden and his ilk actually mean that type of shit, which honestly, knowing a lot of Democrat Party being fucking bunch of war profiteers, same with Republicans, like, it kind of like strikes me as more of a way to try to save face, more so than actually meaning it, but I don't know, we'll see. Considering there hasn't, there has actually been, like, kind of a rejection of the no-fly zone vehemently by the U.S., I mean, there at least, seems to be some truth to it. Because the no-fly zone would just immediately get us into a more World War III-like scenario, so, yeah. Not exactly fond of things like that. I hope that's still not leaking water. Because if it is, I'm definitely going to have to figure out how to replace this water bowl with like an actual like metal bowl or some shit, because goddamn. That bowl busting up is really getting annoying. Like, goddamn, bro. It's like, how do you bust those bowls, Zukov? The second bowl you busted. destructive little maniac. He is just a destructive little maniac. What an absurd little thing. What's the difference? AK-103, 203, AK-15. There's an AK-15? And a PPK-20. That's a thing? What the fuck's a PPK-20? Never heard of that before. PPK-20. What is that? Here we go. Oh, it's just a little 9mm version of the AK. It's just a 9 by 19mm variation. Okay, oh, well, I know what that is. I just kind of know it as like a little like 9mm AK or a little baby AK or something like that. But okay, that's what it is. What is a 203? I know of the 103, but a 203? Indo-Russian gas operating magazine feds 7.62 by 39. So what's Front Express Rush rifles reliable, they're only to maintain okay, whatever. So I guess it's just a more modernized version of the Kalashnikov. It literally doesn't look any different between any other ones I've seen before. And the 103, I'm pretty sure it's just the same thing, right? Yeah. It's a little bit more of a narrow body. Differences. The AK-103 has plastic furniture, while the AK-47 has wooden furniture, so weight's reduced. Slightly longer, by virtue of the fact that it has an extended flash suppressor. So it has some differences. A couple differences, but not too many. And honestly, I'd assume that a lot of these parts are probably interchangeable. Like I'm sure AK-103 and 203 parts are probably very easily interchangeable. Same thing with probably any Kalashnikov AK platform style parts. Goddamn, I still want to get one. I mean, even if I don't really got much ammo for it, I don't even give a fuck. I mean, I might still I might still do get one, but I don't know. It's a little bit more, I guess at this point, a little bit more on like, alright, should probably, maybe I'll like buy the, like, you know, when I can, and if I see it, you know, just buy the ammo slowly but surely over time. Just so I already have it. Like, maybe, like, every 3 boxes of, like, game shot or target loads or something like that. Maybe grab, like, a box or 2 of 7.62 by 39. Just slowly build up that stock. Because then eventually, at that point, I'll be able to, at least already have ammo ready to go once I get it. At that point, I just need some magazines. Except for Harambe. Wow. Look at you, son. Man. I'm just thinking about the AK that I was checking out earlier when I went to go grab a couple things from Sportsman's and shit. Also got to off a new toy. And holy ugh. If it wasn't for like the shortage of fucking ammo for the goddamn thing, man. I'm trying to think about like how would I like try to plan out getting it without this whole ammo issue. And honestly, I'm thinking I would just have to buy the ammo ahead of time before even getting it. Especially with this Visca model. Here, let's see if I can find a version of this. AK, yeah. What's an AK or AKM? Because there's a difference. It's a, I mean, it's an AK platform. It's a Visca. I'm gonna see if I can find the specific one. Oh, okay, no, it's a AKM. I found a dude who actually has the specific... Oh yeah, this is exactly the same one I was holding earlier. So this guy has the exact same one I was checking out. There was another one that was the AK platform specifically, but this is more of the AKM. It was $1,000 when I was looking at it.
Vishka limited edition trooper rifle.
Okay. I just want to kind of get a good look at it.
It feels really nice, to be honest with you. A big part.
It does. Honestly, I'll say that it does. Like it feels nice. It actually like the sights on it are actually pretty good. Like they're actually pretty nice sights on it. I mean, it's not heavy really. It's not too heavy. It feels nice and sturdy. I mean, it's like, oh god damn, I want this honestly. Like what I would do probably is if I were to get it, I'd probably change the foregrip into like a bottom rail guard and then the top wood finish, and then just keep the folding stock, and then maybe have the whatchamacallit, the dust cover, replace that with a rail dust cover so I could put a optic sight on there probably. Like, I'd probably only make a couple changes on it, but just so I could put like an angle foregrip and like a little optic on the top of it. An AA-12, and I gotta say it's lighter than I thought it'd be. Oh, an AA-12 shotgun. Those things barely got recoil too, from what I understand.
But I wanted to take it out here today, show you guys this rifle, shoot a magazine through it to make sure everything's functioning right.
Look at that.
Cleaned up and put on the website.
I also really like that gas block right in the front. Like, I always like the traditional AK look, but I always like these different variations with the gas block port like that. I always like those different little variations of it. I mean, this one basically has the iron sights basically built into the gas port there. So you're kind of stuck with them unless you get a different dust cover that can put optics on.
So guys,
which I might.
This has a Circle 10 minimalistic style triangle stock. It's really
skeleton folding
awesome.
stock.
I love this thing. I might buy more for some other rifles. Basic grip, decent checkering. The trigger is alright. I
actually don't know if it was a folding stock. I never bothered to tinker with that.
Trigger pull on it, so let's give that a go real quick. We're using our wheeler.
Looks like you could put different muzzle brakes on there, like a compensator or something.
It is what it is. It is just about 4.5 pounds there. So not bad. Now, the other stuff that I found really cool about this gun was up here there's a QD point.
Wait, was it? Oh my god, the wind. You should probably have retaken this with the wind.
Back here there's a QD point, so right away you're ready to go with a sling.
Oh, okay, so you can attach sling there at the very front and the back where the stock is. Okay, I see what he's saying there. Okay.
A larger paddle for your mag release. The safety feels really good.
That's another thing I noticed. Like, the mag release on that thing is fucking huge.
On it. I'm gonna remove the...
I love that.
Rubber component. Your optics, your sights, you can see here.
Traditional AK style.
Pretty basic, but it does have that Century Arms gas block up front, and back here it does have the Century Arms trigger group as well.
Shoot it. Honestly, that sounds quieter than I thought. It's just like a little thunk, 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 thunk. Like, that's actually kind of a quiet gun. I thought it would be a little louder than that. That's legit kind of quiet. Recoil don't look too bad.
It shot amazingly well. It's very stout, solid.
Sounds like a tap, tap, tap. I know, like, honestly, I was expecting, you know, like that boom, you know, like a little bit more of a pop and a little bit more of a boom on that. But honestly, that just kind of sounded like more of like a chunk, 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 chunk. Like, I was hearing more of like the mechanism more than the gun, like more than the bullet. Like, that's actually kind of a fairly quiet gun. Like that might legit be significantly more quieter than my fucking 12 gauge. Like, significantly. I mean, it's just like he's wearing ear protection, but it's like, shit, that's making me like, you know, it's like, I wouldn't need it for that. I need it for my 12 gauge. But, I mean, oh. Yeah, but I was holding one of those earlier, and they're only like $9.99. But at least, you know, with doing like the whole Sportsman's like credit card / like awards thing, I actually could get some discounts on that. So it probably won't be like that much when I get it, hypothetically and hopefully. But it's probably still going to be a butt fuckload of money. I mean, it's definitely going to be 800 plus for sure, regardless. But definitely, you know, something that like, if I just put a little bit off to the side for like, you know, a month, especially with this whole ratification of the new univotes, like, if I put a little bit off to the side for a little bit, especially when I'm going to be kind of working for a good chunk of bit, a good fuckload, because we're, you know, low with fucking, people right now, it's like, I'm gonna definitely be raking in some bucks on my checks here coming up, so I'm honestly, you know, even if anyone's gonna be scarce, I'll just, you know, in between everything, as I put like 100 each check aside, just, well, maybe a little more than that, you know, a little aside at least for immediate down payment, and then, you know, have like a 1 month payment plan, because from my understanding, with if you do like a payment plan option, it's 30 days. So it's like you have to do it within that, you know, time period and get it all, you know, paid off, which, especially if I have like a good chunk of it like already been saved up for quite a while, like it'll be easy. Like pay half of it like right then and there, and then all I have to do is like 400, so like what, like 100, 125 each check right there. Boom. I mean, it'd be a little bit of time before I actually get it, but hey, I don't care. I get it. And, you know, it's like, at least at that point, I know, you know, for a fact I'll be actually having the damn thing, so it's all good for me. Good feels. Oh my god, what an intro. Just loud ass jet noises. Amazing. I'm about to get really triggered. Okay, this... Oh my god, I already hate this piece of shit. Oh my god, I want to slap you fucking silly. I want to slap him so goddamn silly right now. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I know what's gonna happen. That's gonna hit him right in the fucking face. Yep, I knew it. Right in his fucking face. Yeah, look at you, you little... Yeah, you dumb bitch. What'd you expect? Kneel. Kneel before your fucking rightful god. What'd you think? Oh god, oh, another one. No, what are you doing? No. Who, what? Okay, the cameraman is a piece of shit because he knew he was gonna get a funny out of that. He's gonna get a funny out of this. Instead of actually teaching her proper and be like, no, you don't, no, oh my god. Okay, wow, are you trying to, like, Get me triggered. Well, it got her cheek. Yeah, you... Well, she's being a little better about it. Like, with something like that, you either hip fire it, or you have it, like, way up in front of you. Like, I mean, you don't have it, like, right next to you like that, like, you pretending there's a stock there. If you don't got a stock, hold it up front of you, or just hip fire it. Like, I imagine she's gonna fuck up still, but, like, it... Oh my god. Firmly grasp it! Okay, there wasn't inherently anything wrong with how she was holding it, aside that she wasn't holding it, I guess. Just gently letting it just rest in your hands. Oh my god, I hope that was a pump action, by the way, when she dropped it. Oh my god, like, you're supposed to, like, grab the thing. Yeah, she's done. She's like, I'm done for today. I'm good. Yeah, she's like, fuck it. This is a bow. No, that wasn't a bow. Oh my god, it's just such shitty quality. That's like a F2000. I think. No, FAMAS? Maybe? I don't know. This is a soldier. Okay. What the fuck? This guy, you don't have an excuse there, bro. What the hell? Now everyone is laughing at you, and rightfully so. Oh my god. Oh, so that wasn't even the complete vid. Hey, the music fit for it, though. I mean, it's like, my lord. It's like, you gotta firmly grasp the damn thing. It's, oh my god, like, like, honestly, that's how a lot of these gun fails happen, is that people just don't hold the damn thing properly. Like, and I feel like that's where most fails, honestly, and mishaps, and mishandling incidents happen, is because people are not holding it properly. Like, I mean, at least when it comes to, hey, Suka! What the fuck? Bruh! No! Shut up! Shut up! Nope! 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 Shut up! Stop it! Shut up, damn you! Oh my god, bro! Oh my god, it's just my dad. It's just dad, bro! Chill out! Oh my god. Either that or neighbors, one of the two. Oh my god. You know, got triggered over proper gun discipline. It's kind of hot. I mean, honestly, it's not like a... honestly, especially when it comes to, like, you know, these, like, mishap things like I was talking about, like, honestly, it's like, most of that can be easily fixed by just properly holding it. That's really about it. I mean, like, outside of that, it's just, you know, the basics of, like, don't have your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot, don't point it at anybody, like, that type of shit. Like, but outside of those things, like, most accidents are because people just don't hold it right, and then it goes flying somewhere, and, you know, and, or they drop it, or hit themselves in the face, or injure themselves and shit. It's just like, I mean, that's where a lot of it really comes from. I mean, and it's just like, hold it properly, and then it won't happen. I mean, but that's why, you know, like, the training and actually, like, you know, having, like, you know, even if you have, like, you know, a group of friends or something like that, and you're all getting together and, you know, have somebody new, have someone there who's actually experienced who can, you know, properly train them. I mean, that's why, you know, when I take my friends, before I take them shooting, I usually, you know, before they start shooting, I let them know, like, hey, it's, all I have to do is pull the bolt back and load it, and it'll load up, and it'll be ready to go. Here's where the safety is, all that type of shit, and I'm let them have at it. I just wish they would actually just, you know, take the time to just load their own fucking ammo instead of letting me do it all the damn time. It's like, if you want to learn how to, you know, hold it in, you know, and all that shit, and learn how it works a little bit, I mean, don't let me just be there right behind you, you know? It's like, I mean, if you know, it's like, here's how you load it. Boom, boom, you know, and all that shit. Easy. I saw a gun fail in real life when a girl took a Desert Eagle, tried to fire it one-handed. Gun flew up and smacked her right in the nose. It's a Desert Eagle! Oh my god, I mean, people are dumb. Like, there are definitely pistols you can easily fire one-handed, but Desert Eagles aren't it, Chief. Like, oh my god. Unless you got, like, some, like, insane arm muscle and, like, arm strength and shit, like, there ain't no way in hell. And even then, your arm's still gonna be flying up. It's just like, no. I mean, you know, like, some guns, like, you know, like, 22 pistols, like a 22 long, LR, you know, type of pistol or some shit, oh, easy. Like, you're barely gonna feel that shit. And then you got, you know, like, 9 mils that you can do with those. I mean, like, 38s, I mean, you might need to practice a little because they got a little bit of a kick, but, I mean, sure. 45, same thing, a little bit more of a kick than a 38, so it's just like 44 mag kicks like a mule. Yeah, I mean, it's like with enough practice, I mean, you can one hand like a 44, but I mean, they still kick like you said, they kick like a mule. So it's like, I mean, first time, if you've never done it before, yeah, it's gonna fling back. So it's best to, you know, before, like, do it a few times both handed so you can at least understand the recoil, and if you feel comfortable, then you can do it one handed. Like, that's the best way to do it. Because I've fired a pistol before, and it was a 1911. I think it was a Kimber, probably. And I shot it a couple times with both hands, and I just did it once without it, with only one hand, and honestly, like, the kick wasn't really that bad, so. But I wanted to make sure, so I, you know, did it with both hands, just you know, so I don't accidentally hit myself in the face. I mean, the same thing, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, for the shotgun that I, you know, have when I have, you know, new ammo, like the 3-inch turkey shots I had. Like, I wasn't sure how the kick was going to be, so I loaded one in the chamber first of a couple game shots after that and tested it just to see how, you know, made sure it would be. And it had a pretty big kick. I didn't really let my friends use those because I didn't want to have the powder load or the velocity, you know, chip up the gas pistol any further, so I only shot 2 of those. But goddamn, they have a kick. And loud. Some rounds actually, like, the loudness of the gun also kind of depends on the bullet or the shell too. Because some, like my target loads, for example, like those are going to be way more quieter in comparison to like the turkey shots or my game shots. Or something like slugs and shit. Like, those are a lot more louder. Because they got, like, a lot more power to pack more of a punch. I guess now it's neighbors, because my dad hasn't come inside. This gun, was it? Smith & Wesson's new was it 10 mil? I think I saw that at Sportsman's.
Was developed about 40 years ago for use as a law enforcement round.
I like this guy. I really like this dude. You got this dude just, you know, giving you the rundown. I like it. Oh, is that it right there? Yeah, there we go. We'll check it out. Yeah, come on.
Here, that's a nice little touch.
Nice little touch.
Handle. Inside the polymer exterior of the frame, there is a rigid stainless steel chassis which has been enhanced in length and in strength, so it reduces the flex of the polymer, and it also assures that the slide is riding on steel. It's steel on steel, so you don't have to worry about the flex of it or too much stress with the 10mm cartridge. It's a great design. The frame also, for those of you who appreciate these things, has a little bit of rail in front of the trigger guard so you can mount a weapon light or a laser or whatever sort of thing you want to put on the bottom of your pistol if you want to put anything. The grip portion of the frame also uses Smith & Wesson's interchangeable palm swell inserts There are 4 included with the pistol that'll fit just about any size hand. It comes with the medium installed. There's also a medium large,
That's
and
pretty
a
cool.
large and a small. I usually use the medium on the 9mm, but on this one, I have pretty big hands, but I used the small. It felt a little bit better to me. It feels kind of like an arch mainspring housing on a 1911 with the grip circumference, the shape of it, and everything.
So it kind of gives you an ability to have like interchangeable grip depending on how comfortable it feels in your hand. That's pretty cool.
And that's the beautiful thing about Smith & Wesson's interchangeable palm swells is you can make it feel beautiful to just about any hand. The palm swell and the rest of the grip frame is very nicely stippled.
Stippled?
It's not going to squirm around. It's not going to go.
Ain't gonna squirm. I like this. I like the way he's describing these things.
Which is really a help with the 10mm.
I actually might subscribe to this guy a little bit. Just because I like the way he's describing stuff. Ain't gonna squirm down there one bit, I tell you what.
The grip angle of the M&P is also
Smith & Wesson's good manufacturer. They really are.
They put a lot of thought, a lot of work into this to make just the right grip angle so it feels wonderful in the hand. It just really nestles in there and it points naturally. The barrel is 4.6 inches, match grade, stainless steel with armor knot finish on it, 1 in 10 rifled, and it has a witness indicator in the top so you can look in there and tell if there's a round chambered. The trigger is really nice on this. It's the
Damn, look at that. That's a nice trigger.
Which any of you who have handled the 2.0 pistols, automatically you know how great this trigger is. It's a flat face, so it helps you have a true rearward pull on it. Lessens the feel of the trigger pull, and it also has the little trigger safety in the front. You take up that trigger. There's some take up on the trigger.
Honestly, if this thing can come with like magazines that can have extra rounds in it, like maybe not like an insane amount, but like, you know, maybe like 5 or 8 more rounds or something like that, dead ass. I mean, I'd probably consider this. Honestly, I know one thing's for sure. I don't know what it's called. I know there's like this Ruger 38 caliber pistol that like pretty much I've been there at Sportsman's last 3 days so far, and basically like every time I'm there, someone's picking up this like Ruger like little 38, like this little small compact little pistol. And when I was waiting to check out some revolvers that my friend wanted to check out, and an AK that I wanted to check out, like I mean, they were saying like, yeah, like there's been some ads and some reviews on this that have been like really excellent, and you know, a lot of people have been loving this. There's been kind of a rave about it, and it's just like, I mean, it also was very affordable too. I think it was only like 200 or 250, somewhere around there, and it's like holds about, I think, 10 rounds, something like that, if I remember correctly. And I think has the possibility to have a, you know, extended magazine, so you can put a little more in there if you want. And it's just like, hey, I'm like, man, you know, honestly, it's like, I've been looking at it and I'm checking at it, and but I don't know what's the actual model of it's called specifically. Maybe I can actually find it, because I kind of want to know what the whole like rave about it is. Because it looks like a really nice little, I mean, it's a little bit of a blocky gun, but it looks really nice. Ruger, pistol here. Let's see. It's not a 9, I know that much. Oh, here it is. The high capacity, they can fit in your pocket. This little guy. At least this is what it looks like.
I don't want to put a holster on and do all this other stuff like that. So I had this thing in a pocket holster. Slip it in, throw it in my pocket, go out the door to go check my mail. Take me about 10-20 seconds to do it. Largely because it's small and it's compact. Now, the LCP2 was my mailbox gun. Now that the LCP Max is out, this will become my mailbox gun. Now, what's the difference, you ask? The difference is capacity, right? The capacity on this is 10 rounds versus, I believe, 6 rounds on the LCP. So 10 rounds of 380 versus 6 or 7, 6, 7 plus 1, 6 plus 1 on the LCP. All right, so let's just shoot and see what this feels like. If it feels any different. I can already tell that the grip, if you look at the grip, it's a little bit beefier Like if you just look at it, you probably wouldn't notice. But once
Yeah,
you
this
get it
definitely looks like the pistol that I've been seeing everybody get.
in your hand, you notice it immediately. It's a little bit beefier.
It looks like even though it is compact, it looks like a nice little beefy pistol. It does look like that.
Actually, like this. Oh, let's say something.
Let's see. I want to see how it shoots. There's not really much recoil on that.
The recoil on this gun. I'm kind of blown away right now, I'm not gonna lie. And the reason why is this, and I'm gonna be honest. I haven't shot the LCP2 in a long time.
Looks like a pretty nice little sidearm, honestly.
The LCP in a long time. But I do remember the LCP kind of being
Gotta check out a little more.
smooth take up. Super smooth, man. It's creamy smooth. And then here
Creamy smooth.
this break. Now the sound of it is, it sounds a little hollow. It doesn't feel hollow. It's not like breaking glass crisp. It's really, really crisp. Oh man, that is awesome.
It does actually look like a pretty nice little little mini piece for a nice little compact little pocket pistol. I mean, for me, I kind of prefer something a little beefier. But I mean, for a little compact piece though, that looks nice. But at least around over here, like everybody's been like wanting to get that thing. Like, I mean, from what I've noticed, like every day, like yeah, there's somebody picking that thing up. It's like, hey, all right, Ruger must be doing something right. I mean, when it comes to at least the affordability for it and all that shit. So, though honestly, I'm definitely probably either gonna get like a 45 or maybe like a revolver. If I do, I'm gonna see if they have something that's like a 38 instead of a 22 long, because it might be a little bit more in price, but I'm okay with that. At least all the ones that they have out there, they're single action too, and it's just like, that's actually pretty cool. I always dig the single action. And honestly, they're fairly safe too, and unless you're Alec Baldwin. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Along with literally everybody else on that goddamn set. But especially him, because he's the fucking twit that decided to pretend to be a cowboy for a second. It take the 2 seconds to think. And maybe look and see if it's fucking loaded. No, he's a dumbass. Low-key, I really do hope he unironically fucking gets criminal charges, dead ass. Considering how much he's like fucking like try to lie and obfuscate about it, it's like, nah. Even the minor fraction of like sympathy I was having initially, it's like that's gone now. It's like, nope. Kind of lost that with me. Okay, let's see what else happened down with the tube. Forgotten Weapons actually did a video. What does the invasion of Ukraine mean for European private firearms? ... Firearms ownership? That's kind of interesting, actually. kind of curious.
To another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and if you haven't been living under a rock, you're probably aware that Russia has.
If you're not living under a rock,
are doing a fantastic, a really, to most people, very surprisingly effective job of stymieing Russian advance into Ukraine. They're doing a phenomenal job, and I think that there are some really interesting implications for civilian firearms ownership and civilian rifle, well, practice, marksmanship competition in particular, as a result of what we're seeing in Ukraine right now. So I'd like to take a minute to talk about that, because I think
that's kind of interesting.
Very interesting. But first,
lay it on me.
Ukrainians absolutely deserve all of our help and support, and there are actually a couple of very easy ways that you can help them, should you be so inclined. When the invasion started, the National Bank of Ukraine actually opened up a couple of special accounts for fundraising specifically. So these are accounts that go directly to the Ukrainian government. They don't go through any sort of middleman. They have one account that specifically goes to the Ukrainian military, if you would like to assist the military. Another that is specifically for humanitarian aid that goes to
I like that one a lot more. Ministry of Social Policy.
Ministry. And I will have links to both of those accounts down below. They have all of the bank routing information you need, and they also have simple credit card processing set up directly on the Bank of Ukraine website. You can donate in 30 seconds with a click of a mouse. Now, if you would like something that is perhaps more of a middle ground between a specifically military and a humanitarian option, or if you would specifically like something that isn't the Ukrainian government directly, I would recommend a charity called Come Back Alive. This is a Ukrainian organization that was established back in 2014 with the first Russian invasion of eastern Ukraine, and they focus on assisting the military with not actually weapons-related aid. They started off with ballistic vests, helmets, and expanded into things like reconnaissance drones, night vision, thermal vision, that sort of equipment. They've been around for 8 years now. They're a very well-recognized charity, and they've done a tremendous amount of good. And either they or either of those two Ukrainian government accounts are fantastic ways that you can actually help make a difference. But now, let's get on to the specific subject of today's video, and that is, get the main point right out there in front. I think there's a significant chance that we will see a significant expansion in civilian ownership of small arms in Europe as a result of this conflict with NATO. And specifically, I think, and I hope, it will result in an increase in civilian interest in marksmanship, in firearms competency, specifically with rifles. And I think
it certainly has for me, and I'm in America.
As a really good example of this. And, well, to back up a step, there are countries, I don't think this is a big deal for a big likelihood for some of the larger and more Western European countries like France, Spain, Germany, countries that still don't see any legitimate possibility of being invaded by someone like Russia. However, there are a lot of small countries, especially in the southern and eastern areas of Europe, for whom that may not have been a plausible scenario 2 weeks ago, but it's kind of looking like one now. And if you are a small country close to the borders of Russia,
Moldova,
you're in this difficult defensive position.
Baltic states and stuff.
These countries have a military that can, with a straight face, suggest that it could simply put up a toe-to-toe, stand their ground, fight, and defeat a military the size of the Russian army. Russia's social media portrayed performance in Ukraine notwithstanding. And yet you have to provide some sort of plausible threat to an occupier, to an invader like Russia, to avoid being invaded in the first place. Like, the whole point, the best possible success in repulsing an invasion is to not get invaded in the first place. So how can you convince a country like Russia that your very small little republic is not worth invading. It's too difficult to invade.
Which, especially, honestly, interesting how he's bringing this point into play. You know, especially all things considered, like, with how Ukraine's holding out. Like, if these other states, especially that happen to, you know, be a little bit more the direct line of sight of Russia's imperialism and shit, and part of the whole broader, you know, contested imperialistic pawning back and forth and shit, then they're going to think, well, hey, you know, so we don't have at least, you know, the militaristic, like, war aspect of this shit. I mean, maybe some of our civilian population should, you know, be encouraged to, like, take part in marksman competitions and different things like that. Have, like, you know, a little, like, marksman club and shit. You know, because especially if you have, you know, a decent portion of the civilian populace that is trained and responsible when it comes to the ownership of firearms and shit, and know what they're doing, like, when it comes, you know, down to it, you know, if an invasion happens, then, like, it's not necessarily just the military, but then you'll have, like, these little, like, marksman clubs and little militias that would also play a major role as well. And we've already been seeing that with Ukraine, so to speak. Maybe not necessarily because they were, like, marksman clubs or, you know, competitors, you know, in, like, marksman competitions or some shit, but, you know, just on the virtue of, you know, just their context and everything. I mean, they were kind of preparing for this. You know, but for these other countries, you know, you know, they haven't really been as much so in the direct line of sight like Ukraine has. So they have a little bit more time to consider these things, and in a way, it's probably, you know, not even necessarily a bad thing. But it would probably expand the value of, you know, these, you know, different things when it comes to ammo, firearms, and shit, and thus increase the price of a lot of these different things, and make it probably a little bit more grumpy for Americans like us, you know, that are, like, used to having, like, you know, like, a gun on every block, practically. You know, it's just like, yeah, we're gonna be like, what? Not as many guns are here now because we're exporting them? What? Like, I mean, you know, it's like, I could see that. Which, honestly, funny enough, I feel like if, like, I mean, the shotgun I have, they're manufactured in Turkey, so it's like, I mean, I mean, it's just like, all in all, I think, honestly, most guns are manufactured, like, everywhere else, but we just happen to get most of them. So, I mean, if anything, they're just going to be like, we're just not going to import these to you guys, we're going to kind of use them. It's like, oh, well, if I want one, fuck you. I mean, honestly, there are some European weapons, like modern ones, that legit I would love to have, like a G36, for example, but at least, especially in America, there's, like, practically no fucking way to get them. Like, there's just none around, like, at all. I mean, there is, like, unless you have, like, you know, you're one of the, like, rare, like, dozen that probably do. Like, there's only, like, very few people that own, you know, those type of, you know, European firearms like that, and it's just like, fuck. Lucky bastards. Because, honestly, like, I mean, like a G36C, like, having that, like a Heckler Koch, oh my god, that would be so, even if it's, like, a civilian variant, you know, it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, that thing is, it's nice and slick. It's like, damn. I mean, I want one, but there's just, they're never, like, at least as far as I'm concerned, they're probably never going to be available around here, or just in America. It's like, god damn it. Fuck.
They're looking around and going, would NATO actually step up and directly help defend us in case of an invasion? And maybe NATO would, maybe NATO wouldn't.
I mean, if they're a NATO country, by obligation, they would.
How much do you want to depend on that when, you know, there's a really good argument to be made that a potentially nuclear war between Russia and NATO is not going to help? Well, it wouldn't make the situation in Ukraine any better, would it? For all the tragedy that is the invasion of Ukraine, nuclear war across Europe isn't going to solve that problem. And
or globally.
NATO being very explicit that while it's willing to support the Ukrainian
destroy the planet.
forces, it it is not willing to actually deploy its own armed forces and potentially escalate the scale of this war. And so we're back to small countries. How can they make themselves a little bit harder of a target? Well, I think Finland is an excellent example of this. The Finnish military is professional, it is very good. It is also in no way large enough to take on the Russian army toe-to-toe, and they know it.
Simihae would like to have a word with you there, sir. Like, all the Finnish troops of the Winter War would like to have a word with you there, bud. I mean, I guess true, but, I mean, Russia historically has had bad times in Finland. Like, historically. I mean, I don't...
Reserve.
It'd be like Ukraine 2.0, but just more snow. Just a lot more snow. Because the snow is talking now.
They have mandatory military service and reserve service. And one of the things that we see in Finland is a significant, perhaps not as significant as in the United States, but a significant interest in civilian martial firearms practice, use, and ownership. And in Finland, this is built around the sport shooting community, and specifically around things like IPSC and rifle, IPSC rifle competition, three-gun competition. There is a specific division, a specific sub-organization, basically, called SRA, which is the essentially reservists shooting society. And it's actually, technically in some cases, four-gun, rifle, pistol, shotgun, and precision rifle. And in competition, it requires competitors to essentially carry a military loadout. They have to wear armor, they have to carry water, they have to carry a minimum amount of ammunition during the stages. It's equivalent to what we have in a lot of the U.S., or similar to what we have in a lot of the U.S. competitions, division of armored division. And it's specifically to encourage military readiness, but it's not, it's not drill sergeants on weekends. It is military readiness in an enjoyable civilian competition format. And what it does is build a broad base of civilian firearms competency that it brings to mind the quote from, I think it was Yamamoto, that you couldn't invade the United States. There would be a rifle behind every blade of grass.
Yeah, I refer to that. I've been referring to that recently, honestly, when it comes to, like, hypothetical, like, global to war scenarios, which, honestly, especially as of lately, is looking very unlikely anyway. But, I mean, all in all, long term, so to speak, in the next decade or so, I mean, that could legit be different. But, I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, like Yamamoto said it best. Like, you couldn't invade the United States because behind each blade of grass, there's a firearm. There's a gun pointing at you. I mean, honestly, like, love it or hate it, there's just legit, outright truth to that. I mean, behind the blades of grass here, there's a gun. Like, I mean, probably more, So it's just like, there's truth. I mean, just straight up, it's just, like he just wasn't wrong. I mean, he was in the U.S. And studied abroad here as well before going back to Japan prior to World War II. So it's like he knew, like he was here, he was a part of the American culture and the aesthetic, and understood that, like, yeah, like everyone's carrying, or at least a lot of people are. And not just carrying, but also carrying, but have like 5 more at home.
The Soviet Union discovered that in 1939 when they did invade. You saw in the very opening days of the invasion, the Ukrainian government changed its laws abruptly and quickly to allow civilian possession of essentially combat rifles. And then we saw on social media some instances of handing out AKs to anyone who is willing to take one. For essentially civil defense purposes. I suspect, and to be honest, I hope, that this situation encourages that sort of civilian preparedness attitude through much more of Europe. A recognition that having a large community of...
I feel like at least having a more Euro culturally based, like, type of you know, like shooting, you know, or slash like gun ownership, you know, type of idea, you know, honestly should even be expanded here. Because, like, the whole, like, hyper, like, gun-ho, jingle bingo, like, come and take from my cold dead hands, you know, type of American aesthetic of it is just, like, ugh. Like, even for me, it's, like, and I'm definitely, you know, like, a dude that obviously loves them and shit. I've been talking about pretty much the entire stream. But it's just, like, I mean, you know, but, like, over in Europe, it's just so much more different. They treat it so much more differently. Like, it's not just, like, you know, something they have fun on the weekends with, but it is like that. But, you know, it's a lot more of a sense of responsibility, a sense of, like, you know, actually having, you know, firearm discipline, and making sure it's not just, like, a bunch of, you know, like, you know, beer belly boys that, you know, getting there after, you know, Bud Lights and shit, you know, plinking up a bunch of cans. Well, that in itself, you know, can, you know, it could be fun, too. I mean, it's just like, but, I mean, there's just a lot more of this sense of, I mean, I guess for lack of better words, maturity, you know, around it. I mean, because it's not, you know, it's obviously not, you know, these, you know, they're tools. They're not necessarily things to be fucked around with. I mean, they, you know, like any tool, they can also be kind of, you know, to, you know, be like a sense like a fun tool to have, you know, and to enjoy and shit, but it's one of those things you take it fucking seriously. Like, I mean, it's like an airsoft gun, you know, can be, you know, qualified as, you know, like one of those little fun, like, you know, teenager-style toys and shit, but you still take it fucking seriously because you can plank somebody's eye out. So, you know, and it's like, and also there's been times where people get, like, you know, BBs actually embedded in them and shit, and actually get kind of fucked up a little bit. Like, it, you know, there's a serious, you know, to shit like that too, even. So it's just like, I mean, that's just really the core root to it. It's actually having, like, a legit sense of responsibility and actually being serious with it. Like, you know, and even with that in mind, you can still have fun and make it enjoyable and still be lax, you know, in a way. Because every time me and my friends been shooting, we've been hella lax about it, but at the same time being, you know, serious and still responsible with it.
Marksman is something that can contribute a very real deterrent to invasion, while at the same time not costing the government a single penny. It is something that the civilian population is...
If anything, they probably could make money off of it like America does.
entirely on their own.
They could probably learn a thing or two from us from that.
Part of the reason I have all the various firearms here, this is a Finnish 2830. There was a program in Finland in the 1930s where you could take your obsolete Civil Guard issued rifle, which was owned by the Civil Guard, and if you wanted it to be a better rifle, both for your own Civil Guard duties and for competition, you could pay about half the cost of either upgrading that rifle to the better standard or replacing it, if it was an old M91, replacing it with a brand new M2830, which was, by the way, an outstanding rifle, and did the bulk of the...
Man, I'd love to get my hands on one of those bad boys. They're pretty much like the finished versions of, like, the licensed Mosin, of, like, Soviet Mosins. Yeah, that's Ian McCall. Yeah, this is Forgotten Weapons. It's like one of the few, like, legit, like, kind of, like, lefty gun YouTubers out there. If you, like, you know, listen to him enough, and also, you know, like, if you, like, check out his community, like, you know, a lot of them will kind of mention that. Brandon Herrera, I think, is another one of those types. Because I think he's also, if I remember, I think Brandon Herrera actually was a Bernie supporter type. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. But... yeah, I mean, but I love Ian McCall, dude. Like, I mean, his videos are pretty legit. Even just, like, even, you know, for guns I'm not necessarily, like, fond of or think I'm like, this wouldn't be my thing, you know, it's still interesting because just, despite being, you know, not necessarily, like, this big, you know, like, hyper charismatic type in a sense where he's, like, you know, bombastic in a sense, he's, you know, he's got this very, you know, professor-like, you know, aspect to himself, but he still has, you know, the charisma by, you know, throwing some jokes in there, having a couple quips, you know, occasionally, and, you know, some fun stuff like that. On obsolete guns. Oh, yeah. I mean, he just does really good videos in general. And a lot of the different meme compilations, you know, of Ian McCall are pretty great, too.
Work in the Winter War. Not the bulk, but was substantially present in the Winter War and very well liked. And a lot of that was funded by...
I still want to get my hands on a Finnish M23, though.
Civil Guard. we see, obviously there are always people who are talking about how civilian ownership of a rifle has no value in true military terms. What are you going to do? You can shoot your rifle at an enemy fighter jet. Well, what we're seeing in Ukraine, and frankly, what we have seen in a wide variety of conflicts over the past 100 years, is that, well, sure, civilian territorial guard, say, isn't going to be able to take down enemy air superiority fighters. Ultimately, occupying a country requires boots on the ground. And
Yep.
And a civilian militia is a bad term to use because it is such a politically loaded term, but an organized civilian group can in fact deter and prevent boots on the ground. And
That's probably a better way to say it, like an armed civilian group.
see some of that in Ukrainian cities right now with individual citizens with rifles and Molotov cocktails doing a fairly impressive job of preventing Russian occupation of tight city areas. What is my ultimate point here, I suppose, is I think the situation has become ripe for a lot of countries, especially in Southern and Eastern Europe, to look to perhaps emulate some of the civilian martial tradition that is seen in places like Finland, with a recognition that this can, in fact, be a real and an effective deterrent to military invasion. It's something, of course, that is a fundamental...
It's kind of, because basically it's like, hey, yeah, you might not, our military might survive forever, but basically, like, a good chunk of our civilians have guns. Do you really want to deal with that while you're here? Like, do you want, like, you're going to be occupying, sure, but you're going to have, like, basically, like, half the population, and probably more at that point, that has guns. Like, do you really want to play that game? Because, we already are seeing that in Ukraine in a lot of ways. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, it is a good deterrent. I mean, that's why, Yamo said it best when it came, like, even though I just heard it earlier that Ian said it, like, I'm going to butcher it again. But it's like, he couldn't invade the U.S. because behind each blade of glass there's a gun. I mean, it's like, if you actually emulate that to a certain extent, especially in the more, like, civil guard, like, Finnish, type of design, like, it does end up being a very good deterrent, because especially historically, look how, the Soviet Union turned out, when it came to trying to deal with Finland. Not really great.
Of American firearms rights, but it's not something that has seen a lot of practical applicability in the United States. We're on a continent that is separated by huge oceans from anyone who might actually want to invade us. And yet, when we look at a country like Ukraine...
because we're crazy enough to send meth squirrels at you? Yeah, honestly, seriously, like, meth squirrels, like... I mean, it's just everything. But also, like, yeah, when it comes to the U.S., like, basically the main way you would have to first initially invade is via naval and airborne invasions. And especially, like, I mean, how are you going to be able to do that, honestly, especially with the mainland, because there's all sorts of other territories, like Hawaii, for example, especially, and Alaska, that, there's going to be, like, radar and military forces stationed there that are going to kind of, like, hey, there's, like, a large, fleet going near the U.S., we should probably stop that, and they're going to, like, intersect. I mean, and also there's, like, a lot of different, bases and naval forces stationed in places like in California, so it's like, in, like, San Diego, so it's, I mean, as soon as there's any sign of any of that type of shit, like, like, any and all, like, naval forces are definitely going to be, like, sent out and starting to patrol those fucking waters, like, immediately. And then, like, any aircraft are going to be patrolling the fucking skies nonstop. So it's like, there ain't going to be no fucking way. Unless they send on the biggest fucking, like, guns on their, in their Navy, and, like, the biggest fucking, like, baddest aircraft, to take out literally everything at once and then, set it up. But, I mean, they're going to need a lot of resources to do that. And plus, they also have to do this with Canada, too. Which I guess would be a little easier, because there's not as many cities on the West Coast. Well, I guess depending on who's doing it, Russia or China, maybe even both. I don't necessarily see it being both unless there's like a mutual like, hey, we won't shoot at each other, but you know, you take this chunk, we'll have this chunk. You know, like some mutual understanding shit. I could probably see something like that.
It certainly seems a lot more immediately beneficial. So this is something that I've been thinking about as I've been watching the footage, the coverage coming out of Ukraine. And, you know, we've seen other instances of it. There have been news articles in the past few months talking about civilian guerrilla training in Estonia, for example. I can only imagine that Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia are extremely concerned with the current state of Russian foreign affairs. They're in a position where they're very small countries that if Russia decided to invade, there may not be anything that NATO could do. If Russia was able to cross, you know, to occupy the entire country before NATO...
I mean, if they're NATO nations, then, I mean, there would straight up be obligation regardless.
To land troops, it could be extremely difficult for NATO to actually do anything. And so the idea of the entire populace being armed and capable of using those arms, and it's something that can be done without needing military expenditure. It's something that can become a cultural element. People simply, yes, I own a military pattern rifle, whether it's an AR or an AK, and I use it in monthly competition, and we practice things
or
like,
take it out with your friends up in the mountains, just plink a bunch of fruits and squashes.
SRA matches that occasionally include...
I still really want that Visca AK, though.
more military-oriented tasks, like dummy hand grenade throwing, and physical challenges that are more related to potential military action. It's certainly also something that has been fundamental to the concept of two-gun, with a focus on physical exertion or physically strenuous stages, something that encourage fitness, shooting under stress, and I think that's very applicable in this situation as well. Anyway, once again, I've gotten to the point where I'm simply rambling, so...
That's okay.
Hopefully this was of some interest to you. I would love to...
It was. I'll give that a like. Because honestly, it's just like, it'd be kind of curious to see, you know, what type of expansions do happen. Because I know, like, there are a lot of countries in Europe, despite the contrary of what maybe Americans might think, that, like, Germany, I know the UK to a certain extent, Finland, obviously. There's, like, a lot of these different countries that actually do have gun ownership and do have guns. And you can go get them. You know, it's just like, they just have all these different processes and these different, you know, means on how to get them and all that, which, I mean, honestly, how's that a bad thing? You know, it's just like, I mean, that's why I think, yeah, at least when it comes to American gun culture, it's just so fucking backwards in my mind, you know, in a lot of ways at least, because, like what, just because there's regulations, suddenly it's like, oh, how can you even get a gun? Like, what the fuck are you, how did you even get it? What? It's like, what do you mean? I mean, it's like, you just go for this process and shit and just do it. I mean, it's no different than just getting a basic-ass background check or some shit. It's just, you know, extra steps. It was a good video on NATO. What was it?
Wonderful.
Oh, I haven't seen this yet, but I have, like, seen this in my feed. I'll give it a good old look.
Come to this. How, even after the USSR fell, did Russia go down such a different path than NATO? Was there ever perhaps some possibility that these two rivals after the end of the Cold War would have came together in peace? Because apparently Putin seems to think so, or at least he says so. His current track record with the truth isn't the best, by the way.
You really think someone would do that?
Putin says Russia wanted to join NATO, but NATO didn't let them. Is there truth to this? The answer to why Russia didn't join NATO is a story about a former superpower rebuilding itself from the ground up. How Russia, or at least the Duma and Putin, viewed their status in regards to the West. So first, the question we're all asking. When it comes to this whole situation, who's to blame for this? It's Putin.
If NATO didn't know what its purpose was post-Soviet fall, it does now.
All Putin. Even if NATO had done some bad things, even if Russia...
And Soviet becomes anti-Putin.
Fair points about their expansion, even if NATO...
I mean, honestly... I mean, I guess in a weird sense, I mean, at least that's a little bit more of a actually, like, good, you know, thing. I mean, I'd rather, you know, we have, you know, organizations that's against, you know, an imperialistic, ultra-nationalist fuck. But, I mean, it's like at least for me, especially the problem is that, like, NATO's just a part of the West, you know, broader, like, you know, imperialistic superpower as well. It's so, I mean, it's like, while you get rid of Putin, I mean, it's just more expansion and solidification of the, you know, Western superpower and along with the U.S. And then it's going to be China at that point. And whatever's left of, you know, like the Putin elements of, you know, the former Russian state as it is now, you know, that fragments and probably, like, has, like, separatist type of states probably in, like, the far east of Russia and shit. And make the capital, like, Vladivostok or something. So, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's just honestly, like, prolonging, you know, the same bullshit if you really think about it. So it's like, I mean, you know, I'm not against the anti-Putin stuff, obviously. I'm very gung-ho for that, but... I mean, it's like, do I want to, like, have, like, you know, just this back and forth with the imperialistic power grabbing? Like, no, I really don't.
Like Putin says, you still can't invade others. Like, it was bad when the U.S. did it in Iraq. It's even worse when Putin does it now.
It'll be worse, you know, regardless of whatever superpower does it next.
The fall of the USSR. Russia is weak and wants assurance from the US and NATO that they wouldn't spread east of Germany. Eastern Europe could be like a neutral ground, and the United States informally agreed. Or, well, George H.W. Bush agreed. Verbally.
Bar. We can't show any weakness in front of the Russians.
This was never an actual agreement. It was just an understanding. Oh, also, I was lying. This agreement wasn't made with Russia after the fall of the USSR, but before, with Gorbachev. The importance of this agreement really depends on who you ask. For avid Russian supporters, this was a legitimate, sometimes legal agreement that NATO promised and then broke. For NATO, their promise not to move east was an informal verbal agreement that doesn't matter. Throughout the last century, there have been multiple discussions between NATO and the Russians over their relationship with NATO. The first one, at least of note, was in 1990, where the United States agreed not to move east into East Germany after the fall of the Berlin Wall. The USSR,
I have that jacket,
though weakened, was still a prominent power, and NATO verbally agreed that they would never move in to Germany, and then the Soviets collapsed. Now, when talking about how important these promises were to the Soviets, we will never really know. Even Gorbachev flip-flops on how important these assurances actually were. What's more interesting is the constant mention of the CSCE. Never heard of it? It's because it never really panned out like it was truly planned. Whether or not any of this was true or just bluster, this talk of a united umbrella was seen as a viable possibility in the early 90s, before the USSR even fell. This is what Gorbachev and the Russians heard. Russia, at least if the Soviets fell, would be joining a united Europe. And then Clinton was elected.
Oh boy, here we go. I knew something was gonna, you know, be a catch, because, like, man, it looked like there's some political will about some of this shit back and forth, but curious how, you know, the U.S. seems to kind of get referenced and seems to, like, kind of fuck it up a little. Like, and basically making this weird confusion, where it's like, was this a legal agreement? Was this verbal? Is this informal? Well, does this matter? Have you ever watched interviews with Gorbachev? He regrets letting USSR fall. Yeah, I've seen a few before.
It's 1992, baby. The Soviets are dead. Bush, despite overseeing the fall of the Soviet Union and bombing Saddam's forces back into Iraq, still promised to not raise taxes.
For Kuwaiti oil.
Read my lip.
And then he raised taxes. So he was voted out. NATO was seen as an age that no longer existed. It was an active discussion in the 90s what the fate of NATO should even be. It was a stringently anti-communist alliance that no longer had a communism to fight, and yet NATO stayed. Now, let me take out this big old button.
This is unjustified Russia's actions against their neighbors. Oh boy, here we go. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Oh boy, I love this. I love Cody, dude. This guy's his editing.
I should reiterate that the Russians are not.
I want to see that again. That was this is just.
I should iterate that the Russians are not simply victims in this. For Central Europe, nations like Poland, Hungary, Romania, and even other nations like the Baltic states were living under Soviet control for decades. As soon as the Warsaw Pact fell, there was a real homegrown movement to join NATO, or at least get some protection from the West in case anything happened again. Would anything happen again? Who knows? The West didn't know, the Russians didn't know, and this was kind of the basis of Clinton sort of keeping NATO around. We're into 1993.
Pablo Escobar.
Rebuilding, with a few hiccups along the way. Clinton comes to Boris Yeltsin with a proposal, a partnership for peace. All of Europe now coming together. Nobody would need to expand NATO if we all were just in this partnership together. And then Clinton drops the bombshell on Yeltsin. This whole partnership for peace was not an alternative to the expansion of NATO. It was a preparation for it. To which Yeltsin replied, why? NATO was created in Cold War times. Today it's trying to find its place in Europe, not without difficulty. It's important that this search not create new divisions, but promote European unity. We believe that the plans of expanding NATO are contrary to this logic. Why sow the seeds of distrust? After all, we're no longer adversaries. We are partners. Yep.
No shit. I mean, this has always been my fucking criticism when it comes to, like, the West imperialistic, like, proxy back and forth with these fucking countries, because that's what these, you know, Eastern European countries are, you know, in a lot of ways to NATO. I mean, it's like, cause it's just a way for them to expand further in case shit happens, and now it's like, hey, some shit looks like might happen, we have purpose again. So it's just like, now they feel, now it's like a lot of NATO especially feels very kind of vindicated for sticking around now at this point, because, well, curious, Clinton. I wonder what he happened to be. Totally not a DNC corporate piece of shit, right?
Poland, Hungary, and Czechia soon joined NATO. Yet, this wasn't the breaking point in relations. Russia still remained a part of the NATO cooperation sphere. There was an optimistic view that the kinks in this whole thing were slowly being worked out. Now, keep in mind, this whole time, NATO is entirely justified in what they're doing. They're technically not doing anything wrong. But from the Russian mindset, going from a communist superpower to a mafia state, where this man is their leader, they felt nothing but shame. That fear and paranoia only began to grow, and it became manifested when this guy came to power. But even with Putin in office, and him winning the presidency through some zany means, Russia was still somewhat friendly with the US, yet that was going to change. In 2004, NATO, under Bush's push, brought in 7 new nations. Now, once again, if these nations wanted to join NATO, that's fine. But after a decade of this, Russia became paranoid that NATO was simply out to get them. And then Bush welcomes in these nations as escaping an evil empire.
The door to NATO will remain open until the whole of Europe is united in freedom and in peace.
You can even go back,
as I do a lot of war crimes in Iraq.
to the articles in 2000.
And then, we'll feel vindicated that NATO's doing this when Russia does kind of similar things over in Ukraine as it gets a little worse with this whole imperialist bullshit. Now watch us drive.
Russia is
Fucking
going
worm.
to change their foreign policy. The Russian Duma began freaking out, and the first man they ran to was a violent Putin. Georgia was
An ultra-nationalist, too.
4 years later.
The button again!
I don't mean all Russians. I mean the Russian government, which should usually be clear, but I just know some of you are going to try to use that as a gotcha. One question may be on your mind. After the Cold War, why didn't the Russians just join NATO if they were so afraid of it? General opposition to the West, for one. Russia, even while the USSR was collapsing, didn't want to view this as a defeat. They wanted to view this as a new age. Then it turns out only their institutions fell. But there's also another reason why Russia didn't join. NATO is not simply an alliance, it's a structured machine. When a nation joins NATO, it is not simply changing to the blue team. The way its military is organized becomes based around being able to work within that machine. A country joining NATO is a process that takes years. This isn't a process that simply happens. For one, a nation joining NATO has to be unanimously accepted by everyone. And it also has to be voted on by that nation's population. As an example, Hungary in 1997 voted 85% in favor of joining. Would the Russian people ever have accepted to join an organization that they believed was an arm of the American empire?
Run away now.
The rule of geopolitics is the closer you are to a superpower, the more they mingle and try to control your nation. And that's what Russia really views a lot of their neighbors as. Just pawns on a board for which they, as the stronger nation, have the right to control. Their goals in Europe simply drive others away from them. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. NATO expansion closer to Russia only made them more paranoid and isolated. However, if NATO didn't expand, who's to say what countries like Estonia might find themselves in right now? It's clear Putin has some fantasy about rebuilding the Russian Empire, or at least the influence of the USSR. This video is not about two equally bad camps. NATO's greatest sin, at least in this regard, is leaving its doors wide open. It's been said that Americans should imagine what it'd be like if Canada fell to Chinese influence. Complaining that your geopolitical rival lied about letting your former allies into their compass club doesn't make you look like a victim. Nobody would feel sorry for the United States if China took Canada. They would laugh. Oh, wait, actually, we don't need a hypothetical. The same situation happened with the U.S. too, with Cuba.
Yeah.
We know how the U.S. would react when a neighbor turns to the enemy's side. Keep them sanctioned for decades, which, here's a little tip, is a bad thing to do too. What about is used a lot by pro-Putin supporters, bringing up every transgression the U.S. has ever done. And it's true the United States has done a lot of bad things. Iraq, for instance, that was bad. It's funny it's being used as an equivalent because people in the West at the time protested the war without disappearing. The closest the U.S. had to censoring opposition.
I mean, there's people in the West who are protesting this current war too, but there's also just a couple countries where if you do that, you're going to kind of disappear and probably be in a penal battalion.
Or was when the country industry killed off the Dixie Chick's career. Can Russians today say the same thing? Or are they not even allowed to call this a war but a military operation? That said, we should be asking some questions to ourselves. Did NATO still need to exist after the Soviets fell? Did NATO exist to push Russia towards a nationalistic paradigm?
I mean, honestly, like, really the best case solution seems like one of those different, like, organizations of, like, a more broader united Europe. Like, in, like disbanding of NATO into a reestablishing of a more broader organization. Like, that just seems like a better case, honestly. Even if it's still, on a more broader, scale, on a generalized scale, geopolitics and imperialistic power grabbing. I mean, at least at that point, there isn't, like, this whole Euro back and forth fucking, shit going on, and there can at least be a little bit more diplomatic cooperation, amongst, nations. At least, more so than now. So, it's just like, yeah, honestly, should it have had, just kind of like disbanded and reorganized into something new? Honestly, yeah. They really should have.
Years that undermined the same liberal democracy that the West was trying to plant within the country.
Oh my god.
Was NATO obligated to give Russian interests the time of day? Do geopolitics even work like that? For my personal opinion, I believe that the Russians had far different expectations for what a post-Soviet world would look like. The Russians believed, in part because of those 1990 talks involving East Germany, that with the end of the Warsaw Pact, NATO wouldn't expand. That instead there would be some coalition in Europe where Russia has special privileges. While to the Americans, they took the fall of the USSR as a victory. Their promises to the Soviets were when the Warsaw Pact still existed. With the collapse, the Americans now oversaw a Central and Eastern Europe that was eager to join in the economic prosperity of the West.
And at that point, they didn't give a fuck anymore.
It was a complicated act balancing these nations while also trying to not exclude the Russians. A Europe that Russia claimed it wanted to be in. Yet Russia only became more and more isolated. While much of this discussion is around NATO, this is simply one element. NATO, up until recent events, didn't actually move their military equipment past those original 1991 borders. The main issue the Russian government has isn't just a military bloc.
Yeah, I think it's only been like the last 10 years, I think, is when that's happened. I think mainly in 2014, and then now, especially now.
Institutions. Or at least institutions that don't serve their interests. If Putin wasn't blaming NATO, the problem would be something else. Like, I don't know, the whole thing that started this in the first place. Like,
or gay pride, apparently. At least one of their Orthodox church leaders over there thinks.
Join the European Union. Putin's Russia really has been their own worst enemy for a while, as every hostile action, every threat, every influence, every corrupt politician has only made their former allies turn against them. It's always good to try to see from all perspectives, yet not all perspectives are equal. Sometimes the perspective is simply that another nation was a mistake to exist. Sometimes it's that the collapse of the USSR was the most catastrophic event of the 20th century. Even if there was a kernel of truth to the idea that NATO misled...
Oh my god, fucking Clinton. Oh my god, look at that face.
It does not justify their actions. Should Putin really be talking about how misleading is bad? Kind of seems like that was their strategy for the last few months. NATO is not a perfect organization. However, if the nations of Europe want to join this club, it should always be their right. Russia expected the continent to remain a neutral ground for their own interests, even after their pact collapsed. And when that didn't happen, they claimed no fair. You do not start wars over verbal agreements that happened before most of your troops were even born. We cannot forget that this all is coming down to a real war within a split nation. A war that, while true, has been raging for 8 years, only began because the Russian side didn't have their guy in charge anymore. One that escalated into an invasion of an independent nation, which regardless of the justification, only justifies the fears of Russia's enemies. So, yeah, congrats Putin. You were the monster that proved NATO was right to build up. While this alliance didn't know what it was going to be in the mid-90s, it sure does know now. You didn't want to be a part of Europe, and now you get your wish.
Yeah, and you know, and like he was kind of prefacing earlier, like when at least probably speak about Russians, and when it comes to the Russian state, it's like they're the ones, you know, that get to, you know, reap the seeds that they sown. But unfortunately, the Russian people specifically, and you know, that have to like be like pawns in the fucking muck of it all, have to suffer for him. Which hopefully that just, you know, makes, you know, them a little bit, like, especially the youth amongst Russia, you know, especially, you know, have a major swing in tune. Because they already happen. And even some of the older populace, too. I mean, I guess not as much, but definitely a little more so than usual now. Silkop's twitching. He's knocked out so much, he's twitching a little bit. But, of course, as always by Cody, in alternate history of, or is that knowledge of? Alternate history of, yeah. Excellent video. Did I like it? I want to make sure I did. Did I? I did. Good. So kind of having a dream. Probably is. Like, he's had a very very eventful last 2 days. Went out shooting, joined me at Sportsman's, just kind of hanging out, getting all the fucking loving and cuddles and scritches by people. Like, every time he went up to somebody, like, luckily, pretty much everybody was like, "Oh my goodness, what a sweet boy." And then he humped my friend's leg. He straight up did. And it was, while we were waiting, and it was just fucking hilarious. It was like, oh no. Oh boy. He must have smelled, you know, he caught a whiff of something, and he was like, "I smell something that I need to fuck. I see a leg, that's good enough." So, you know, he's definitely getting to that, like, hormonal stage now. You know, it's like, oh boy. I mean, I'm gonna wait a little bit, you know, before I kind of deal with that and address that situation. I guess I'll just kind of see how he is and how he behaves, at least just on his own. Because he does, I mean, all in all, he does fine. He just has these little moments of like, yeah, I'm gonna just kind of do my thing now. I'm gonna like either hump you or just kind of collapse here and just like gnaw on your hand ever so playfully. I'm just glad that when he chews on my hand, he does it in literally the most like gentle way possible. So it's like, honestly, at this point, I'm actually kind of okay if he gnaws on my hand a little bit, because I mean, all in all, he's just kind of chilling about it, being very sweet with it. Also, will admit, like, while we were there, we were kind of waiting for a little bit, so that's honestly how I ended up getting some different shit. Oh, it's a couple cup. But I don't know if you're here earlier, but I stocked up on a little bit more Target loads because they literally got like a box that they just opened. There's already a couple empty, and I asked, "Hey, cool, grab those." They're like, "Yeah, go for it." And I was like, "Oh, sweet, grabbing 3 out of that," because I was wanting to stock up on those. And then I got a big ammo crate utility box tub thing where I'm just gonna put all my spent shells in and shit. And then I got Zukov a new toy, and he was going ape shit about it. But because he's been tuckered out, you know, for a little bit, he didn't really play with it too much. But I could tell he loves it. So that's always a good sign. Oh, geez, just a sweet little baby. I'm making a late night Taco Bell run. A Taco Bell run? Oh my good lord. Damn old Taco Bell, huh? Use a run. You're just gonna be running there. You should get one of your like horses on your ranch and just ride up in there on the drive-through. Ride in on horseback, see what they say. Just be like, "Yo, what's up? Yeah, this is my ride. Yeah, it's a drive-through, but you know, hey, I mean, I didn't have a vehicle ready, you know, so I just took my horse. What, you want to fight me? It's late at night. Fuck, you know, like what? What do you want? You know?" Just show up on horseback. Just be like, fuck it. Zukov went like right back asleep. Well, Vosh actually uploaded a video that isn't a Ukraine video for the first time in a while. The moral necessity of of being sexist to J.K. Rowling and why I do it again. Damn. Oh yes, too. J.K. Rowling attacks me on Twitter. Oh wait, J.K. Rowling literally like at. Oh my god. Okay, all right. I'm biting the hook. I'm gonna bite the hook. I'm biting the hook. I mean, should I get 24? God damn. Yeah, I mean that sounds like a pretty decent amount. So I'm straight up biting. Like J.K. Rowling actually like got Vosh. What's up? He was having a sweet little nap and you just disturbed him a little bit. Oh,
come on, you know the drill, bud.
Oh, hold on. Oh, that is just too cute. Hold on. Oh, that is just so adorable.
Come on, bud.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh.
Look up, move.
You bite boy.
Look up, move.
Bye. Look at his little tail.
Hey, Daddy.
Look at his little tail go.
Fucker, move. Move. Out.
Oh, you poor baby. Oh, you poor thing. Oh my god. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, you stretchy boy. Hey, buddy. Oh, you poor thing. Come here. Or not. Plus some burritos. Jeez, how much do you eat? 24 tacos and burritos? Fuck, bro.
What? Who? Why?
Oh, just Venom in the chat. Zuko, you boy. Come here, boy. Come here, buddy. You sweet my boy. Come here. Come here, boy.
Nope.
Really? You're gonna do that? Come on. You sweet thing, come here.
You're gonna do that to your own daddy.
Come here, boy. Come here. You're okay. Come here, bud.
No.
Come here. Zuko, come here. Come here, bud.
What?
Zuko, come here, baby. Come here. Come on. I just want to give you loves. That's all.
What time was Harley here this morning?
You spent the night.
Oh, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I woke up and I'm like, I hear Harley. I came home and I'm like,
yeah, we went to go check out
when did Harley get here?
he's just been here all night. But we went to go check out some of his guns, and that's like I was saying. Like,
what did you find out?
I did. Well, we were, because there was a bunch of people there, picking shit up. We were kind of waiting for a while. So by the time they were in the middle of helping people, so I didn't really get a chance to mention much or ask much on it. But the dude that was there, that I saw, I think on Wednesday, that was there, he was like, oh, do you want me to set you up the car thing? I was like, oh, well, I already did that. So I already, because I did that yesterday. He's like, oh, cool. So I at least...
Did you get approved?
Yeah. I did it yesterday, and I was approved pretty much, like, right then and there.
Nice,
so.
nice. What is your credit?
I know I've pretty much have, like, never really done anything or used anything, that would affect the credit, so I'm assuming it would probably just be average or neutral, or I honestly don't know.
Average is like 6.
It's like 600 or something?
600 and above.
So probably somewhere around there. I don't know.
I would keep it good, so I mean, basically what you need to do is because you already have one, right?
Just like a regular credit card? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've never even used it yet, so.
Well, when you do use it, you gotta realize that what's your APR on it?
I don't know right off the top of my head.
Well, you might want to look into that.
Well, yeah.
APR is your interest.
Yeah, I think it's like either 15 or 20%, somewhere around there, I think.
Dude, that's high.
Yeah, it's with I want that's why I want to fucking switch to. I think it's just I think that the credit card is Discovery, but I don't know. I don't know, like it's like,
well, if you haven't even used it, it's not going to charge you anything.
Yeah,
unless
like
there's an annual income with it.
Yeah, it's yeah, like I mean, I haven't because I've honestly been waiting to like kind of think about
Basically, why they asked
shit.
you if you applied for a credit card is because we try to get credit cards every day.
Yeah, so.
I would not use your Discover card because you can't do it the same way.
Well, yeah.
With my card. But no, when you do come and get it, I would do it 2 weeks in advance. So do your background check first. Once you get approved with your background, then
the whole then like the whole payment process and all that shit.
Yeah, it will be a lot easier.
Yeah, and I was gonna.
But they will call you and let you know when your rifle is when your
shit's all approved and all that.
When your background check is approved, they'll let you know.
Yeah, because especially the one I was looking at, like they had like 3 of them like on the rack, so I imagine they probably even have more in the back. So I'm like, I'm not really worried about them running out of those. So it's like, yeah, especially with all that, that'll make it a lot more easier to get it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Plus, I can just do like an immediate have it off probably like right then and there, then continue off.
No.
Well, if like
you can pay it off if you wanted to, but I would use your credit card.
That's what I mean.
Because it gives you time to at least build up a little bit more. So once you pay it in full, but you can actually pay it in the store, so you don't have to fucking do it over the phone.
Yeah.
You can actually go to my store and actually pay it off.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Because that's all I was, probably think. Because at least,
Cabela's won't let you do that.
Yeah. Which is actually, and also the only store at Cabela's is like way off in fucking Tigard, so it's like, ain't no way in hell I'm going all the way over there.
Troutdale.
Well, it's in that general area.
I like Cabela's. It's nice. It's big, and they have
a lot more firearms to check. Yeah, I've been there, and there's a lot like old, like
Dude,
even World War II firearms.
They have a whole fucking level for it.
Yeah, like there's and that's where they had like a bunch of old like World War I era rifles there last time I was there. I'm sure they probably still do.
They've got everything from, I think,
military surplus,
military to new,
all sorts. Yeah, they definitely got like a bit more massive selection of shit. Like, if I had, like, 300...
I'm pretty sure they have every version of every gun.
Yeah, because I'd probably, like, if I had, like, 300, 400 just, like, in my pocket, I'd probably go down there to, pick up, like, a surplus rifle or some shit, maybe. Depending.
I'd rather go to a dealer to actually do that.
Well, there are, like, some other local shops that have,
Well, I mean, I kind of like to support local shops, but if I work at a sports store that gives me a great discount...
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna shop my work.
Well, yeah.
I would rather shop my store than go to Cabela's.
Plus, just way closer.
Plus, if you work at Cabela's, their discount sucks. Compared to my discount. My discount's better.
I mean, if they did, yeah. Plus, when it comes to at least, different, like, flexibility, with customers and shit, they definitely don't seem like they have that as much. Because pretty much every time I've been there, they've always been, very flexible and been open about, pretty much like, actually, like, working with the person and
shit. My store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like while I was there, like there was a few other people that weren't even really getting anything like we were, but like kind of looking into probably getting something. Like there was a dude getting his rifle sighted and stuff with a new scope and shit.
Yeah, that's what an FSP is.
Yeah.
So if you do get a gun, do get the FSP. The FSP saves your ass a lot.
Yeah.
Basically, it's. If anything goes wrong with your rifle, you can take it to my store.
Oh, yeah. Also thinking if I do get that Visco 2 especially, that like it's also pretty something that I can easily like work with too, because I can replace dust stuff everywhere. I can have like a little optic rail thing on there instead. Buy one of those. I'm thinking maybe like the foregrip I might get one that has like a, I'm sure I should be able to find one where it has like a rail on the bottom and then like a wooden grip, wooden top on it.
You can change them.
Yeah. I'll just have to like look around a little bit. I just know that the big thing is just trying to find ammo for it, because that's going to be the kind of bitch. Because they're just like...
you would have to ask me a day in advance. And I can ask Kyle.
Yeah.
If you can hold a couple boxes.
Yeah, because honestly I might just start buying a couple just ahead of time, just to kind of have some, just kind of preemptively.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple mags too. Just like let the ammo chill in there, and then
you can get 30 round mags here. You can't get them in Cali. 30 round mags. 30 rounds.
Yeah.
And you can't get them in California. You can only have 10 rounds.
Oh, in Cali. Oh. That definitely sucks. It's like, boo. Because sometimes having those things around.
I forgot to tell you on yesterday,
we
had some guy fucking pocket some fucking clips.
Clips? Oh my god.
Or he was trying to return without a receipt.
Oh.
But we watched him.
Yeah, I heard at least.
Put him in a bag.
Yeah, I heard at least 2 or 3 times security kind of called, and there was no saying, you know, like a couple people after that kind of making some moves, you know, in certain departments. I'm like, well, some dipshits trying to pocket shit.
We watch a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I got called into the office one day, or Thursday, because Martin was the only person in fishing. So they had me come up and they're like, you know, do loss prevention? I'm like, kinda. Like, alright, well, just follow me, follow my lead. Basically, I have to follow the lead of loss prevention, so if the guy starts wailing on him, I basically pull the guy off.
Yeah.
Basically, after that, if it's full fucking hands-on, I step in.
Yeah.
Which would be amazing.
Well, hopefully no one's stupid enough to try to be escalatory and shit.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
The guy was bitching. Well, you're gonna hear from my lawyer, okay? We have you on video pulling stuff out of the purse.
Like,
I think like every total was like $300.
Damn.
Well, he didn't get anything. Basically,
yeah.
If you're stealing from my store, we're taking everything away from you and you're not getting it.
Yeah, and more likely to get banned.
If you come back in our store, we will call the police.
Yeah. Which I kind of like how they're all starting to recognize me over there too at this point, just because I've been there.
Once they get to know you.
Yeah, I mean I've been there pretty much like every day this entire weekend I've had, and you know, so I know that especially today they've been chilling there. Like the same people at the front desk I see, they've pretty much been there every time.
I'm pretty sure when you left, Joel was still at work. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was. Dude with the like kind of a.
With a forged mask and a hat?
Yeah.
A black hat?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Joel. That's the guy I fuck with.
Bet the clap from this 50 on my lap. We'll have you running. Are you quoting Hank Trill? Venom? Oh my god.
I went and got burritos today.
Nice. Yeah, I have one that gonna start falling down later.
No, I got one in the freezer.
Oh, nice.
I went to Safeway and got some food.
Dope. Yeah, I'm thinking of using that crate as just kind of where I put my spent ammo, just so I can use this to just kind of have my extra stores. In fact, I actually forgot to put those in there. Oh my god, man! All the Winchesters in here are fucking heavy.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Come on. Kind of nicely organized in there. Ugh. Man. Tight ass fucking. Oh my god, it gets heavy when I have all that in there. Oh. Ugh. I just forgot to put all my shit away, but I'll do that later. Stop selling propane down the whole web game. Oh my god. Whoa, well, that is indeed allowed. It's over here. And the bitch, there we go.
You got a reeker?
That's my friend's. He had his come back, so he couldn't exactly have that on him going back.
Stop selling propane, now the whole rap game on my motherfucking back. It's the king of the trap, it's the king of the trap, it's the king of the trap.
I'll figure out where to put that later.
Dale triple is the humanized sickle. I'ma turn you to a cripple when I pop you like a pimple. I got two bad bitches with me chilling in the middle. I'm a
hey, Zukov. Baby. Zukov, come here. Zukov. Fuck you, bro. Get over here.
I can't figure it out. I was the one that killed him. Can't solve it like a riddle.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, you goof. Yeah, get away from that. Oh. Oh man, goddamn.
I ain't gotta go shiesty, I'll shoot you if you lie to me. I can freestyle, but my style ain't free. I got hella diamonds, keep my wrist shiny. I'ma make him cry if he try to fry me.
What?
Block on my side, yeah, that's my side piece. I need extra lean with a side of fries, please. Coke in my bloodstream, yeah, I'm always high. G10 Super Bowl rings,
baby.
in my high seat. Goddamn. I was the king of the hill, now I'm the king of the motherfucking trap. Bet the clap from this 50 on my lap, don't beat you running laps, that's a motherfucking fact. Hey, stop selling propane, now the whole rap game on my motherfucking back. It's the king of the trap, it's the king of the trap, it's the king of the trap. Oh man, goddamn.
No.
It's coming out of
Oh, it's a boo. Who's this big boy? Look at that little ear. Look at his little ears.
I was the king of the hill, now I'm the king of the motherfucking trap. Bet the clap from this 50 on my lap, don't get you running laps, that's a motherfucking fact. Hey, stop selling propane, now the whole rap game on my motherfucking back. It's the king of the trap, it's the king of the trap, it's the king of the trap.
I like how he just put up with my shit. He just has to put up with my bullshit. You just have to put up my shit and you just have to take it, don't you? Oh, good boy. You goof. Who's a boy? Who is a boy? Oh my god. Okay. You can... Fam. You could just, like, put yourself over there. You know what I'm saying? Over there, you have... like, you have a seat again. Like, you don't, oh my god. Oh my sweet baby rays. Sweet baby rays! Oh my god! Ah! What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you mind? Look at you, you big goof, you honk-a-lonk. Well, excuse me. You know what? I actually got some treats for the other day. Yeah. Do you... bruh. Do you want a pizzle? Do you want a pizzle? Look like you do. There you go. You eat that pizzle. Got a little 3-pack of those. And he's most certainly going to enjoy them. Probably going to be gone pretty quick, too, now that I think about it. He goes for treats like a madman. Now, he can't bitch at me for not giving him a treat, because he most certainly got one. So... man, he's having fun with that. Little sweet boy. What a little sweet boy. So cow, being so cute and sweet, oh yeah. Gives Zukoff another treat. He deserves 2 for being so dangerously cute. Well, he's in the middle of eating one right now. Can't distract him. Can't utterly distract him. I mean, he needs to at least have some time to eat the, you know, the current treats that he has right now. Then I'll give him a dental treat just to make sure that he has clean teeth. See what random shit is down for the tube. Which isn't much, despite it being a Friday. It's just like, has it really been, like, yeah, there really isn't much. What the hell? Boo. Boo. Oh, see this, one of those Ukrainian channels I'm subscribed to that is getting a bunch of videos from the front. And honestly, there really isn't much. It's just like the same type of stuff, like here's a bunch of Russian vehicles destroyed and abandoned and all that shit. It's just like, no. I mean, it's like no wonder it hasn't really been much news coming out of that lately. It's like, because they aren't being, they can't even like reorganize and resupply and shit when everything keeps getting blown the fuck up. So it's like they're pretty much at this lull period, which is good, because it pretty much has like this conundrum for Putin now at that point, where it's like, hey, do I just send in the big guns, or do I just keep doing this and expect different results, even though it ain't going to be different? Which I think, honestly, he's just not going to... Like he's not gonna change much shit. Like you might slowly like dribble in some more modern stuff in there, but honestly, because of that, it's just gonna be picked off more so than actually be useful. Especially if they're modern tanks, like unless they actually have some more modern aircraft that can take out some of the Ukrainian drones or some shit, which even then that's probably unlikely. See what the shit is going down and on. Yeah, really not too much. Sukhov's so high he could speak Ukrainian. He probably could. I should make him learn commands, but actually teach him in Ukrainian. Hold on, actually. Let me do this. English and all right. I want to hear it. Come on. Bistan. I don't know if that's how. I'm trying to. Oh, you know what? Well, I could do this real quick, actually.
Biden.
Whoa. Okay, there we go.
Встань. Встань.
Bistan. Sounds like just stand. I typed in stand up. There. Let me do attention. Yava. Right? Come on. Oh my god, I hate the speaker sometimes. Yovava or Yova. Oh my god, come on. Play it. Play the damn thing. Natila Zemlyu.
Лягти на землю.
Natila Zemlyu.
Лягти на землю.
That was so slow. Lahatla Zemlyu. Lay down on the ground. That's what that translates to. Zukov. Zukov. He's just chilling on his tree. I can't do it right now. I want to, but I want to try. I'll actually have to, like, you know, look some of that up and have to try it a little bit. Oh my god. Well, you're not Zukov, so there's no impetus. There's no impetus. Man, there is really, like, straight fucking jack shit. I feel like other random little tidbits of news and shit. You know, I think there were, you think there would be at least a little bit, just a little bit. A Russian general, Vitaly Gerasimov, used local Ukraine SIM card, and other senior officers in Kharkiv. Vitaly Gerasimov was the second top Russian general killed since the war started. Each week So they used, like, a Ukrainian SIM card. They were able to track him with that, basically, and him and a bunch of other officers kind of died. Wow, what a fucking dumb fuck. Yeah, like, use the locals, use the locals SIM card, and, you know, where they can actually, like, have more direct access to track you. I'm like, yeah, smart move. I mean, that is definitely very dumb. Like, why would you... I mean, honestly, like, it's probably not very wise to have your phone in the first place because of shit like that, like tracking, especially if you're a little bit more of an influential person, like a general. Because they'll just use that to track you. Like, if you want to record shit, use a GoPro, damn it. And upload it later. It's like, goddamn. Then they won't track you that way. This guy is having a time with that pizzle. That sweet little boy. If you were a soldier, would you take your phone with you on assignment? I mean, probably not. I mean, I probably, like, just... I don't know. I mean, part of me legit probably would, but the other part of me would probably not. If I did, I'd probably just have it on airplane mode the entire time unless I absolutely need it. Or just have it turned off until I want to use it. Do turn it on and then turn it off again. Because at least it makes it a little bit harder to track. I can't even see, but I can tell he's just doing mass destruction to that pistol. It's adorable. Yeah, seriously? Jack shit? Yeah, I'm just gonna give up with that. Alright, I'll wait for this. Wait for the news app. Florida fails to pass condo safety measures following Surfside collapse. Color me shocked. Another reason why Florida sucks. Like, go fucking figure. Like, of course they don't. Let's see here. A lot about this Texas court halting of a bunch of the investigations on the transgender youth and shit, which is definitely a major good success and victory on the you know, like this whole fucking, you know, shit that, you know, going against them. You know, it's like, and trying to stop that, because it's like, what the fuck. I mean, at least there's some Texan judge out there that at least has some sense. That's good. Martin Schramm, no fly is no solution. No shit. It's not a solution, it's just an escalation. Okay. At least this whole news app is at least showing some shit. All I have is our talent. Ukrainian violinists find peace in Denmark. Oh my god, it's one of these stories. It's one of these, like, virtue porn stories. I mean, it's like, good for them, but it's like, uh-oh. I already know what it is. It's like, against all odds, even though many out there, unfortunately, don't have this chance, here's these, you know, people that did. And we're gonna, you know, prop them up even more and put them on an article. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's still good for them, but it's like, it's one of those articles, god damn it. When I was in Scandinavia, is known for a lot of their like musicianship. Like when I was in Iceland, at least, like there was like at least when I was in Reykjavik, every time I was there was always like in one way, shape, or form musicians, playing or singing or like a choir or some shit. Like there was always something. Christopher lost his Democrats. Look to Biden for a reason. Oh no. What's this? House Dems plan a retreat here this week over the reset after a difficult period in which Biden has been buffeted by rising gas prices, soaring inflation, and sagging approval ratings. Weren't they spiking just like a second ago or some shit? Instead, they arrived and busted in the middle of the night after President's coronavirus aid package collapsed in Congress. Like, blah, 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 blah. My god, they're just like looking at a dimensional owl naive fuck as like, hey, do something. What Jack? The malarkey thing. You know the corn pop, Jack. It's like, listen, fat. You know the thing. You know the malarkey there, Jack. Don't tell me otherwise. It's like, oh my god. You having fun, fat? Man, there's even really not that much on the whole news app here either. What the hell? That's this new budget means we won't be going back to it anytime soon. Let me guess. It's just like, hey, listen, Jack, we gotta gut a lot of your shit because hey, we need to put a little bit more arms into the military because they got a lot of shit that they need to pedal out there, Jack. Need more javelins. Need more things like that there, Jack. Listen, fat, you know the thing. Little Zooks. Hey, don't even start. Don't even start it. Don't even. Do not even. No. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Zukov. Come here. It's just Dad. Oh my God. See? Told you. Some bitch.
Oh, okay. Back up.
Oh my Lord.
Move the door.
Oh, we move. Alright, Zooks. Yeah, you realize it was him and it was a false alarm. Yeah, get over yourself there, bro. Bruh.
Next time you come play pool.
Well, I mean, why don't... Is that what the whole, you dipping off was earlier about?
Yeah, well, I had to get a bunch of stuff for Chris to pick up Alex and go to the Wichita and play pool.
Well, I mean, I was I was with Harley most of the day just because we were...
I could swear I saw Harley at Wichita but it's just someone that
looked like him.
almost exactly like him.
Oh. I mean, yeah, but I was with him at
I'm
sports.
sitting there just like, is that Harley?
Yeah, but I got, but I also
I got closer and just like, okay, looks exactly like him, but he's bigger.
Might have been his brother. Not even kidding, maybe.
Could have been, I don't know.
But, yeah, but I went to sports with him because he wanted to get he's been thinking about getting a revolver because I've got him in the itch, so to speak, now. And, yeah, so we were over there, and I was looking at some of the AKs, and there's this Visca Century Arms AK that looks really fucking nice. It's like, oh my god.
I want to get my guns back from Dad. He won't let me have them.
Yeah, like, honestly, as soon as I start mentioning it, I'm literally about to get another one. It's like, I mean...
I told him, you bought a shotgun.
Yeah.
So that way I could say, I want my gun so I can shoot my own gun.
Yeah, I bought one, and I'm looking to buy another.
Andrew's gun.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm looking to buy another here soon. Like, I mean, you know, so...
30-06. That's sweet.
They have a lot of that ammo at Sportsman's. Hell, I mean, if you want, I can preemptively stock up on.
Gun.
Well, I can stock up on some of the ammo right now if you want. Well, not literally now, but you know. At least because I'm thinking about getting some.
Next time I'm.
Because I need to seriously.
In Montana or Arizona or wherever, I'm just like, I want my fucking guns.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah, because I can at least stock up on a little bit of ammo every now and then for 30-06. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he's worried you're going to commit suicide or something.
No, oh my god. For fuck's sake.
I tried, the gun misfired. The only time the gun misfired.
And that's not even like...
Click. It didn't go up. So I'm just like, okay, it's not my time to go. I guess when my time to go comes, it'll come. I'll just wait for it.
I mean, also, it's just like...
Wait for it.
I mean, it's like, and even then, like, it would not be a goddamn motherfucking gun that I'd do that with. Like, I at least have the courtesy to not leave a goddamn horrible, splattered out mess. Like, I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, there's enough oxycodone around here to do the job. Well, maybe not anymore.
I mean, shit, like...
Get with Krista on that one.
Oh my god. But even then, like that hasn't even been on, like, even really close to the mindset in quite a, in a while, so... I mean, if anything, because now I have that, now I actually have a little bit more of, like, a consistent hobby that I can do with friends and shit, so if anything, it's actually better. Instead of just having less and shit, besides just like, oh, I'll go pool occasionally or some shit. It's like it's an extra thing and an extra thing to, of stuff to do.
Didn't take a dump that was like this size the night before. That was painful.
Well, that's why you were kind of also lingering back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all kind of wondering what was up, but...
I used the cold as an excuse. I'm still having problems walking.
Well, also there was kind of a big-ass hill with it. I mean, there was only that little side,
yeah,
but...
that was no problem, it was just walking.
Well...
It doesn't matter if it was uphill, downhill, or straight flat. Walking was painful.
Well, then that car having to, like, push it across the fucking intersection and all that shit, and nearly, so, like, you dragging on almost, like, basically, it's just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, your friends pushed too fast.
That's why I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm literally just gonna jump in here like a fucking chimp and just, like, get in the driver's seat, because this was, like, I didn't want to see you just collapse all of a sudden and just be like, uh-oh.
Especially in the middle of 82nd Johnson Creek, that's a bad spot to collapse in the middle of the road.
Oh my god.
Like I said, I'll be more...
Well, yeah, and also... Yeah, and I also got a bunch of... Well, I already have the ammo box over there, but I also got a bunch more target loads. They got a shipment of that in today, so I got 3 boxes, so I'm pretty much, like, hello replenished now. So...
Yeah,
but...
Next time you want to go, let me know.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, like... Yeah, I'll probably go at least I want to at least try to order another spare pistons for that, and a new buttstock for that. Probably before I do.
Yeah, it's not like I have a lot on my schedule.
Yeah, but that's why I want to get another one here. That's why I want to get another firearm here soon anyway, because then...
That's pretty much about all I gotta do.
Yeah. At least for me, that's why I want to get another firearm anyway, because then I can use at least that, to shoot around with, and then have that to work on a little more, and work on and look up parts and shit, and actually, not putting a little more wear and tear in it.
And rifles, I tried to shoot a pistol once, it kind of blew up in my face.
Well, if I ever got one, it would not blow up in our face, because it would be a new one, and, because honestly, well, Harley would be actually probably getting it first, but next time we go shooting, he'll definitely be bringing his, very likely a new revolver, which would probably be a 22 long rifle, unless it gets a 38 caliber revolver or something, which are single actions, too, when we were looking at them. And the one he pointed out that he was looking at was actually, I think it's like 180 something, or like 200 or something like that. And it was a single action. It had a really nice, like, metallic finish on it. It was like, oh, damn, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
And the Visca I was looking at, it's just like, I mean, it's...
Thinking hunting, it'd be nice to have a pistol in case whatever you shot, you walk up to it. And
it's still alive, and you can just kind of use...
It's alive and angry. It tries to attack you with, like, horns and claws and teeth.
Yeah.
Like that, you can always shoot a second time.
Yeah, and I also bought that big ammo crate thing for spent ammo shells and stuff. Which I could probably
My dad has some really cool, the clean boxes like
that. Like those ammo boxes?
Yeah, they're like World War II surplus.
Yeah, well, that one kind of is, but that's like a one that's made recently and shit, but same. Why change it? There's no difference in the actual World War II era stuff, and yeah. Because that one's like a more modern one, but same thing. Because that one's like hella tight. Like I still have to like really snap it in place to close it. So, but why change the design if it works?
Yeah, pretty much the same design.
30-06 is
big latches on the side.
30-06 is 30 caliber, right?
No, that would be a 30-30.
30-30, okay. Because honestly, like, if I do, I could probably just use that ammo box to just put all... Okay. Well, I just was double checking, but yeah, because I was thinking, like, because if it's long enough to fit perfectly in that box, I might just use that ammo box to preemptively put a little extra in there.
Yeah,
I have all my shotgun ammo, my 2 target load boxes, and all the Winchester slugs in there.
Are a bit bigger, only you stick the ammo in sideways instead of two.
Yeah.
Two. You just stick them all in sideways, and then you got some more room on top. You just lay them down flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, I gotta put this down. It's real heavy. Oh.
I'm a distraction. But yeah, I'm starting to make like Sportsman's just like my daily, like my second little hub now. Just because my roommate.
If you kill yourself, I'm gonna kill you.
Well, that ain't gonna be fucking happening. Especially like this year. Like this year, I'm looking to like be like going out and doing shit and stuff. Like, I mean, hell no.
Yeah, you need to get out more.
This is the year of like fuck 2020 and 2021. So that's and so far it's actually in. And so far, it's in relative success.
I mentioned a couple days ago.
Well, let me know next time. God damn it! I probably would have just met. I probably did. I just would have met you over there, huh?
I did. You must have forgot.
What, today? You didn't say anything today.
2 days ago. When you said let's go shooting, I was just like, okay, Thursday, all right. Friday, I have to go play pool.
I don't remember that part. So, but should have reminded me then, damn it.
Anyhow, yeah, I had a bunch of...
Because besides from, hanging out at sports and stuff, Harley, to see if he wants to get a revolver and shit, which at this point he's very likely to do that. But, aside from that, I was doing fuck all today, so I was just like, I would have joined. I would have just came back home, grabbed my pool stick, and just went up there and met you.
Yeah, next time we might be going back to the Monitor.
The Monitor?
Yeah, it's a bar, a small town bar.
Oh.
In, I think it's Monitor.
Actually, I've heard of it, so.
A little tinny
Yeah, it's very great.
between...
Get the great houses, assholes over all day. I mean, it's sure ship numbers. Wait, what?
Right
I'm honestly missing Chaz. Hold on now.
Right next to Aurora. It's like half an hour that way.
Oh, okay. So kind of way off the way a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's lots of fun. It's like the old small town bars are used to in Montana.
I mean, also they're just kind of like you also get interesting characters in there a lot of times too. Especially if you're like a new person yourself, or a different like kind of fresh-faced person yourself, and they kind of go, check it out. Then it's like, oh, the locals are like, who is this? Or it'll be like, who the fuck is this? I guess depending on how they view.
And I was with Alex, so everyone liked me, and everyone knew Alex.
So there you go.
So if I'm a friend of Alex's, I'm in front of everyone in the bar, which is always a good point.
That's yeah. It's always a good thing to do that. Last time
people in the bar don't like you with a small town bar, you best be leaving.
Yeah, you probably fucked at that point.
You don't want to end up face down in the parking lot.
Or your vehicle fucked up.
Alex grew up there.
Well, that would explain it.
Friend, so if I ended up face down in the parking lot, it'd be because somebody bought me too many drinks.
Luckily, I've never had that happen to me yet.
Yeah, I got a note on this.
Anyway. Jesus, you really need, could try to. You really should try to Star Trek New Civilization. Blah, 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 this is, word research bus. It's really great mod. I mean, it honestly sounds like a pretty cool mod. All gimmicks like that. I'm sure you could probably create your own empire that can have similar gimmicks and probably a combination of different shit too. Yeah, that sounds pretty dope. Find get some music in the background here. We do a little sweet thing. It's chilling over there. It's chilling like a little villainy little dork. Is that what you're doing? Just giving me the look. What a goof. What a absurd little thing. Baby. Here. Up. There you go. But kind of ignoring the Borg because they have huge tech advantage and get tech boosts every time they kill Borg ship as part of their traditions. Well, yeah, yeah, that would, you know, that's... That kind of makes the Borg, like, hella fucking OP in a way, doesn't it? Damn Borg. But now they own a third of the galaxy, and I'm scared. Well, you might want to, like, get, like, the biggest fucking, like, strike force possible to take out one of their more smaller, forces. And just fucking, I don't know, man, just research that shit and try to gather what you can for, you know, to try to help boost your own research prowess so you can kind of bump up and just kind of slowly drain their manpower in that way. While I suppose, as the Borg says, resistance is futile. But hey, I mean, you gotta pick the numbers off one by one. Gotta do it somehow. Look at you, you're so cute. You're just a sweet little thing. Every ship I lose is a ship they potentially get to simulate. That's why I said go after the smaller forces. Like ones, like different, like fleets that are a lot more smaller in numbers. And then just utterly, like, send, like, the biggest, baddest fucking guns to just obliterate them, basically. I mean, that's honestly the best way to do it. Hard to assimilate big, bad ships that, you know, are very hard to fucking destroy. And they got a bunch of them that just obliterate the shit out of you. Especially if like a lot of medium and smaller ones to kind of help divide their you know, like military capability when they're all like shooting at these smaller things while you got these big things just all like, you know, just bombarding the shit out of them, or vice versa too. You have to take one bigger ship, then all the smaller ones are going to have an opportunity to get up close and just murk the shit out of them. Don't step back, comrade. Baby, he's so sweet. Why must he be so sweet? He is just such a goof. What's this? What'd you send me?
Put your head between these two restrained logs and win a free hat. Well, that's a no-brainer. Come on, you fat do it.
Come on, you fat bug, do it.
Who's laughing now? I got
my hat. You do it for the hat. Honestly, it's just like honestly, that's why you activate the trap and then you back the fuck out. And then let the trap do its thing and then you just go through. I know how the fucking game works. I mean, it's been a long while since I played the game, but I know how it works. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is AOC's war? Fox host? What the fuck? AOC's war? Huh? That wasn't an actual quote, was it? Oh god, there's a clip. Here we are.
He showed us what his doctrine is, and his doctrine was economic power is national security. Energy independence is national security. One of the first things he did was disavow this idea that we could not be energy independent. And right now, I'm sorry, this is a Green New Deal war. This is John Kerry's war. This is AOC's war. We are in this position because we have allowed Russia to be in power.
Huh? This is a Green New Deal. Fuck, shut the fuck up. Yeah. How is this even remotely how's this fucking war even remotely related to fucking the Green New Deal, AOC, or like what? Apparently J.K. Rowling called Vosh a pedophile. Huh? Is that what the fucking you know, I forgot. I was gonna bite on that hook. Hold on. I haven't watched Vosh in a long time, but apparently here. I'll bite. I'm biting the hook now. I forgot to bite the hook.
Oh wait, J.K. Rowling actually did screenshot me. Hold up, lads. Y'all gotta go to J.K. Rowling's Twitter. I wondered if being...
Gotta send my simps out to fucking, unleash.
In retrospect,
Gotta send them.
Ratio her? Are you kidding? Do it? I can't ratio J.K. Rowling.
Oh my god, like that fucking matters. All J.K. Rowling had to do was shut the fuck up, and she could have been almost uncritically beloved for like a century. Wouldn't be quiet or start apologizing challenge.
I'm doing the tweet here on the phone. Hold on. Just no lady, please. I'm gonna do the lady. You can't stop me from saying lady.
What you and your ilk fail to appreciate is how tediously familiar I find your tactics. Have a violent ex-husband who used to tell me life would be great if only I'd comply, but you're making the same mistake you did, women. You can't be bullied out of resistance. What? Yeah, just like how much you bully fucking trans people. Piece of shit. They literally think they're like, some sort of like menace against, women or feminism or some shit.
Facilities and you want to keep them there
Bitch.
because of your trauma. Quit making your feelings other people's oppression. No, don't be nice. Was that nice? Alright. Folks, it's still a charity fundraising stream, okay? Fundraising stream means you have to participate. Everyone has to go on.
Oh my god, so, wait, was there more to this?
God damn, that's a lot of this. I'll take this, I didn't think I'd ratio it, but I'll take being. Oh yeah, for those of you who joined the stream later, J.K. Rowling has it out for me. Very proud of the notoriety that I've earned.
Okay. So, see this other one about it. Oh my god, are you actually serious?
Fine, good.
There was actual unironic fucking like articles about this. You can't be serious.
Community in the center. Mere moments before deciding to record this, I decided to turn off Elden Ring. It was making my computer fan too loud. Okay, here's the deal.
Okay, whatever. Alright, well... Jesus Christ. I guess I bit the hook and I don't care too much enough, you know, for the meat on it. Whatever. I guess oh my god. I guess that's like the whole biggest like hoopla and boosted now. It's just like, uh-oh. Transphobe and random YouTuber fucking like have it out. It's like, oh my god. Who, okay. Aye. Like, I kind of find it amusing that J.K. Rowling is, you know, actually, like, kind of, like, calling off, you know, a fucking YouTuber, thinking, like, it, you know, somehow, like, the biggest fucking, like, cultural problem of the world right now, or some shit against, like, women or whatever the fuck, even though there's, like, unironic fucking far-right Republican neo-con-traditionalist pieces of shit that are, you know, quite much inciting similar bullshit. It's like, It's like, I don't know. Maybe you should look at the people who are actually being destructive to women. Not trans people, dipshit. It's like, Jesus Christ. That's any other random shit. Not too much. What the fuck? Boo. Boo. Took off what in Samuel's hell are you doing? What are you looking at your booty for? You're just going to town over there, son. Like, Jesus. Why? It's like, if you need me to, like, wipe something, I can get, like, some actual, like, little wet wipes or something for you, bro. I mean, it won't be exactly the pleasant experience, but I mean, it's better than whatever the fuck you're doing. You goof. You still look like such a floppy little baby. Yeah, really, not much. I like how were like some murmurs about like some whole fucking like US version of the whole like freedom trucker thing, but that literally pretty much like came into like no fruition whatsoever. It's like I saw some things about that like a day or two ago, but then it was like nothing. It's like, wow, what a slam dunk those guys did. They sure showed the good one thing or another that way. They sure showed that good what for, I tell you what. It's like when like two people show up basically. It's like, oh my god, it's like, give me a break. Sad. Yeah, I check in to see what's going on with the local news. What's going on with local news? Local, yeah. Oh my god. Oregon Trail School District teacher arrested for sexually abusing a minor. And this dude straight up looks like fucking Dave Rubin. What the fuck? Is this like a botched Dave Rubin clone? Oh god. Like, ugh. Like, hide him away, please. Like, he can go hide away in a corner for a very long period of time. Same police department said a warrant was issued for Taylor E. Llewellyn. After a 2020 investigation, the 45-year-old was wanted on 13 counts of second-degree sexual abuse, and 1 count of contributing to the sexual delinquency of a minor. The Orange School English teacher from August 2019 to June 2020, and also taught for Lake Oswego and Lowell school districts. Oh my lord. Jeez. Well, he ain't gonna be doing that anymore. What else? Yeah, random stuff. Public transit workers concerned about altercations of federal mask mandate. As Pacific Northwest lifts the indoor mask mandate on Saturday, the federal mandate still hangs over airports, healthcare settings, and public transit. For public transit workers, many are concerned about altercations of passengers who might not understand the mask mandate still in place for taxis, rideshare trains, trams, buses. Bill Bradley is a public policy coordinator for ATU Local 757, the union that represents public transit workers in Northwest Oregon. Cool. He said with one mandate being lifted, well, I'm sorry I can't get your name right there though, Bill. But he said with one mandate being lifted and while the other is still in place until April 18th, this will cause confusion with the public. We see an uptick in verbal aggression towards transit operators over physical altercations to mask compliance. The operators are up there trying to make sure everyone is safe. Right. Oh no, it was meant to be Bradley. Okay, Bradley said since the start of the pandemic, public transit workers have been policing at mask wearing. With some people not complying, verbal aggression has increased even with ridership down over the last 2 years. So he said the next 5 weeks are going to be a challenge. We're asking our transit agency partners to make sure they're giving their best effort to the next 5 weeks to that can take the load off transit operators. Charmin assessed the concerns of their employees in a statement. While operators may remind riders that masks are required, we do not direct them to enforce masks. Unfortunately, masks have become a contentious issue, and we do not want our operators to be put in harm's way over it. Rather, we've asked operators to report non-compliance to Charmin. Our operators need to, well, like that's going to do anything. Our operators need to focus on maneuvering 40-foot buses in a dynamic environment for the safety of them, our riders, and the public. Well, sure, fair enough. So. Rideshare drivers and taxi cab companies are also feeling similar concerns. Noah Ernst is a superintendent of a radio cab. Says the last 2 years of enforcing the mask mandate has been intense for his drivers. Anytime when you're alone in a vehicle with a stranger and let's try to get them to do something or ask them to do something they don't want to. That's a stressful situation. Ernst says drivers have experienced an increase in verbal aggression too. Another 5 weeks of masks inside public transit will only create more anxiety. I think the mask mandate should be in place or lifted across the board, only from a communication confusion standpoint. Yeah. So basically, it's just like, hey, I mean, how do we try to like minimize altercation, you know, considering the circumstances of what's going on and that type of shit? Because all in all, it could be very likely that there could be a lot of altercations that, especially these type of people, don't want to deal with. pressure, don't. I might still wear one myself out of habit, but if someone, you know, confronts me about wearing one, it's gonna be even it's gonna be more confusing to me. It's like, why do you care? Like, it's just my own personal prerogative. But, because if I have that happen, like I was wearing a mask in the bar because it's still required and shit. But some dude, at least last time I was there, was like, "What meth, bro? Are you wearing it?" And it's like, why do you care? It's like, why do you give a shit? It's definitely just definitely fucking odd, at the very fucking least. It's like, what? Shouldn't I be getting at you for not wearing one? Shouldn't this be the other way around? No, nobody wears a mask around here anymore. Yeah, like like most people still do around here, but yeah, there's definitely, depending on where you go to as well. Like, for example, when I go Sportsman's, more people are not wearing them than are wearing them. But like, if I was, like, you know, in my store, then most people would be wearing them versus not. So it also kind of depends on where you're at too. Because I notice it varies and differs. But also on TriMet, like, there's different, yeah, there's definitely different people that are also, you know, like, won't wear them in places that they still should be enforced, like on public transit and shit. But that's also why there hasn't really been as much, you know, enforcement of it, because people don't want to necessarily deal with the fucking, you know, deal with the altercations and all that shit, which I definitely don't really blame them. Especially earlier on in this fucking pandemic, seeing how some people can, you know, react in a way, it's just like, yeah, I wouldn't want to fuck with certain people. That's so cool. You sweet baby. Yeah, no random shit. Seriously, nothing. Baby. Baby. I don't like Vash's Sims. I don't either. And honestly, I find it really annoying when Vash has to, like, kind of cater to them and fucking, like, you know, find ways to make sure they're all riled up and, you know, like, actually, you know, like, focus or paying attention and all that type of shit. Like, yo, ratios, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my god, like, any of that gives a actual, like, fucking, like, shit. Like, any of that actually, like, fucking matters. Like, give me a goddamn break. But for some reason, to them, it does. Those Twitter points, yo. Gotta have our Twitter points. It's like our own. It's like a weird version of social credit almost. It's like, it's not like an official social credit, but it kind of is in a way. It's like, I gotta make sure I have like enough, like, you know, likes and stuff like that to make sure my social credit's good. Or else, you know, people aren't gonna necessarily like me as much on Twitter. I don't want that. Boo. Everyone needs to like me. Me. Someone using my name picture? Oh? Really? Huh? Is there a link to it? Yeah. Because that'd be kind of interesting to kind of see. Just be like, what the fuck is this all about, huh? I wonder if it would. I wonder if it's like it'd be weird if it'd be like some troll account, unless there's like some sort of like suspension that like was removed and revoked off my Twitter account. Now it's just up and available again. Am I gonna just kind of go on it? I got it. What the fuck? February 2022. Oh, you know what? This could be that fucking troll from Pole. It's that fucking Pole troll.
Where do I have to go in and watch? People moving a 40-foot colon. I could have used that 2 days ago, but...
Who's this dude falling? So honestly, this person is falling on here might actually fucking... Pierce Morgan, what the fuck?
Okay, just have you and your toys right in front of my door.
Kyle Kashov. That's posting L's.
You're out there somewhere, I know it.
Count Dankula. Oh my god. Razor Fist. Stick, sex. Yeah. No. It's kind of fucking obvious. Cute. That's honestly kind of cute. I like there's a link to my YouTube channel in there. It's like, is this a way to like try to like troll me even harder? Or something? That was you banning Lamau. No. I like how there's a Russian flag on there too. Well, let's see. Oh my god. Just trying to use this like, I mean, does this dumb fuck realize that, like, I'm not, like, some sort of, like, big enough figure to fucking, you know, like, have this matter or anything? Like, what? Like, it's just, it's, my god. It's still active. Like, I looked at tweets and replies, and there are still some as of, like, what? A day ago? Yeah, a day ago. It was like, oh my lord. That is so cute. That is just so adorable. This is the latest like that he has is from fucking Dave Rubin. Oh my god. Man, whoever this fucking poll user is literally the most saddest little individual ever. The saddest. Just like guaranteed incel. Absolutely guaranteed. That's just an absolute guarantee for sure. It's like, oh my lord. So sad. It's like, I guess I live so rent-free in their head that they're using Twitter and shit like of me, I guess, as like a little troll account. It's like, it's like legit. That's like immensely like the most saddest little, cutest little thing I've ever seen. It's like, wow, I live rent-free in your head that much, huh? He isn't following Nick Fuentes. He probably is. Nick Fuentes ain't on Twitter, as far as I'm aware.
Have we got a comfy pop? Oh, no.
Well, he's like, nope, I was, but I want to get detention.
Yeah, good poochers. That's going to picture where it's hanging out in the chair. Yeah, good poochers. Yes, good poochers.
I love how this shit is just like fairly active aside, just replying to other different people and shit, but not really using the actual account to post anything themselves and shit. It's cute. I mean, it's like, honestly, does he really think that that's supposed to, like, impress me or something? Like, at the very least, he can ask me out to dinner first. Maybe that's why he was trying to fucking, dox me and shit. Maybe so he can meet me and be like, hey, I want to take you out to dinner, baby. I haven't felt the touch of love since my mom died. When she passed in that car accident 10 years ago or some shit. It's just like literally some horrible, dark, sad story that honestly you just don't give a fuck to hear about. I'd take you out to dinner. Well, at least you would be fine. But whoever this sad little dork is, though, like, oh my god, bro. It's like, man. Like, does that kid know what being outside is? By dinner, I mean relentless butt pounding. You're gonna have to get a couple drinks in me for that. Oh, he's so cute. He's so sweet. Oh, you can barely keep your head up. Oh, there it goes. Oh God. Boogie298 made a video. My legal issues are finally over. Yeah, because you literally are a fucking dumb fuck that fired a gun that wasn't even yours in a residential neighborhood like a literal jackass. On top of having open, like, mental health issues on various different fucking shit. I mean, it's like... It's one thing to just, you know, chat about your life and, you know, about current problems and just, like, talk about it and shit, but, like, especially the way Boogie does it, Like, he straight up is definitely not mentally stable. Like, it's like, oof. Like, for me, I know I definitely got my moments of outbursts of anger and shit, but during that process of me getting angry and shit, there ain't no fucking, you know, thought of picking up a gun during that. It's more about, like, I want to punch or kick something. Like, it's more that than having a gun, you know? So it's like, if I have an angry outburst, I'm just straight legit more to pick something up and just use it to, like, hit something or kick something or some shit like that. Like, I'm just more likely to do that. He's now a right-wing celebrity. Well, of course he is. He's now seen as, like, some hero to the fucking right because he killed commies or some shit. The right-wing narrative. Yeah, well, because he believes in it, too. Like he always did. Now he feels like, now I can get back at those bullies and shit, because, you know, haha. Now I show them. And he got away with it. I mean, it was the school shooter who could have snapped, but didn't have the snap. He just had a out. So that was basically it. Mm. Mm. Seems like a lot of lots of little bits of shit. What's here? This over here. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Queen's Guard dishes post to fight Vladimir Putin's forces in Ukraine. Oh my god. There, I feel like that might just be a wee tinge bit of propaganda. Just a little bit. It's like the Queen's Guard ditches a post, what? It's like, yeah, I'm sure the dude just probably requested it. It's like, I'd like, you know, to relieve my, you know, duties and be reserved, you know, so I can take that opportunity to volunteer for the Foreign Legion. It's like, I guarantee you that's what the fuck it was. I mean, it's just like, yeah, they just like up and left. Like, It's like, yep, I'm literally patrolling as the Queen's Guard, what? But no, I'm just gonna just dip off and just like zip it on the way on down to Kiev now, what? Simple as, mate. It's like, the fuck? It's like, I mean, honestly, I mean, it definitely shows that, you know, there could easily be propaganda on both sides of this, you know, type of shit, you know, going on. Yeah, but either way, it's just like, that's kind of, you know, the whole, you know, point of, like, all's fair in love and war, so to speak. Because this is like, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you got one side that is going to be overtly pushing endless amounts of fundless propaganda and shit, I mean, it's only fair that you're going to be pushing some of your own. So, but it means that people on the outside, you know, perspectives and shit, you know, just need to be vigilant about what is and isn't bullshit, so. Yeah. There's a couple stuff on it, like the crane shit, but not really too much. I mean, nothing that is really important. Besides, there hasn't really been too much updates on that whole front anyway. Aside from the usual, I suppose. But I'll see if it's like one more little thing, and if so, check it out. If not, probably call it good. Good for this lovely evening. Damn. Sure, too much else. Make sure I get my next bowl loaded, ready to go. Yep, do it. Okay, grind some more. Of course, it's a major necessity. Before I keep going, I'll at least get some tunes going here real quick. Should be quiet as hell. It's like not even have fans. Like, no, it's probably not even on. Honestly, now that I think about it. But there we go. Oh, right there. Sorry, X why liberalism won't solve anything. I think that was a. If I remember correctly, I think that's the Sickathon video. I have to check that video out myself, because honestly, it's just like, yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer that liberalism doesn't solve anything. It just kind of prolongs the problems and the lack thereof of progress. That dog has knocked the fuck out. You are just a sleepy boy. Let's just all be tuckered out from the last 32 some hours. The sleepiest of boys. It's definitely been one very happy pooch last couple days. Just considering how much of a, playtime and outdoor time and just exploration and all that shit he's been doing. Some good stuff. And, of course, just the sweetest of boys. I know definitely later I'll give him a treat. Probably get myself all showered up and cleaned up from my adventures of the weekend and all that fun shit. In the meantime, make sure he's all nice and treated out and everything. He's just knocked the fuck out. It is adorable. Get that damn hair out of there. Ugh. There we go. Boom. Alright. Get this nice little last bowl smoked out, and I'll call it good for a nice little bit of the evening. Especially if last night I've been streaming for so fucking long. I mean, yeah, have a nice lengthy little stream this time around. It's like, yeah, I think we'll be good. Anyway, peace out, of course.